Hey, welcome to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. Check out our playlist for more amazing novels and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new audiobook. Now, let's dive into today's story. Chapter 1. Su Wei Awakens, Two Talents Awaken, Space-Time Gate God Rewards Hard Work. In the 29th year of Konoha, in a room in a large courtyard of the Uchiha clan, Swish. A 6-year-old thin boy named Uchiha Xuanqing suddenly opened his eyes and sat up straight when he successfully extracted the first ray of chakra. At this moment, a large number of familiar and unfamiliar memories suddenly emerged in his mind. After a while, he digested the memories that kept emerging in his mind, while looking around with a look of astonishment and muttering in his heart, "Have I traveled through time? I didn't expect to awaken the memories of my past life only now, and I also traveled to the Hokage world." After he finally digested and sorted out the memories of his past life, a voice sounded in his mind: "First contact with extraordinary power, awakening of wisdom, awakening of talent, you have obtained the time and space gate talent supernatural power, and the God rewards hard work talent supernatural power." At this time, such information suddenly emerged in Uchiha Xuanqing's mind. Immediately afterwards, information about the two talents, abilities, and methods of use began to flow into his mind. At the same time, a mysterious rune was condensed successfully in his sea of consciousness. One was like a mysterious portal, and the other was like a dodecahedral crystal, sitting steadily in the center of his sea of consciousness, standing opposite each other. After a while, when Uchiha Xuanqing digested this information, his eyes lit up. He took a breath of cold air, and thought happily, "I got it. Great. These two talents are quite good. Space-time gate talent. Initially, there is a space-time gate transit small world with an area of 10 kilometers. Initially, it can only connect to the pirate world, allowing Uchiha Xuanqing to freely travel between the pirate world and the Hokage world through the space-time gate. In addition, people with a favorability of 80 points to Xuanqing can be bound by the space-time gate talent and obtain the right to freely shuttle between the two worlds. Of course, Xuanqing always has the absolute highest authority. And once the target is bound by the space-time gate talent, the favorability of Xuanqing will never be lower than 80 points, and the secrets related to the space-time gate cannot be revealed to non-bound members without Xuanqing's permission. Basically, there is no possibility of betrayal. If you betray Xuanqing, the bound target will lose all memories and gains related to the space-time gate and after binding. Favorability: 0 to 9 stranger, 10 to 29 friendly, 30 to 59 good friend, 61 to 79 confidant, 80 to 89 close friend, 90 to 99 life and death friend, 100 life and death companion. God rewards hard work talent. Do anything, any practice behavior can gain gains and progress, practice to the limit, and even break the limit to realize, and realize more advanced practice methods, skills, ninjutsu, etc. The more fully prepared you are when you realize, the more skills, ninjutsu, and experience you have mastered, and the more powerful the skills you will realize after the realization. Haha. With these two talents, I finally have hope in the future. Otherwise, with my current congenital deficiency, sickly body, and the identity of the Uchiha clan, I don't know when I will die. After Uchiha Xuanqing understood the abilities of his two talents, he breathed a sigh of relief. Then, according to the talent information, a mind moved, and an attribute panel composed of the God of Rewards hard work talent, which only he could see, appeared in front of him. Of course, the attribute panel was just manifested by Xuanqing in his own way. In the final analysis, it is just a manifestation of the God of Rewards hard work talent. Uchiha Xuanqing. Talent: space-time gate, heaven rewards hard work. Lifespan: 6 months. Chakra attributes: water, wind, fire, earth, yin. Skills: Uchiha Chakra Refining 1/100th, Entry-Level Traditional Chinese Medicine 2314 10,000ths, Grandmaster Health Preserving Exercise 1/5000th Minor Success. Skill Proficiency Level: Entry-Level, Proficient, Grandmaster, Minor Success, Grand Success, Perfection. Half a year. Seeing the lifespan column, Uchiha Xuanqing's originally happy expression quickly faded, and his brows furrowed. I know that my body is very poor in this life, but I didn't expect it to be so bad. It seems that I have to find a way to regulate my body and restore and increase my lifespan first. Otherwise, even if I have the talent of heaven defying, there is no future. Thinking of this, Xuanqing looked at the 3 skills in his skill column. In addition to chakra refining, traditional Chinese medicine grandmaster and health-preserving exercise are obviously skills brought by his past life memories. In fact, in his previous life, he was also a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine who was terminally ill. He relied on his medical skills and health-preserving exercises to save himself. In the end, he did not live past 30. But this is already a miracle. He should not have lived past 20 in his previous life. Health-preserving exercises obviously played a key role. Unexpectedly, after awakening the memory of his previous life, he also inherited the experience and insights of the previous life's health-preserving exercises. But this seems to be very reasonable. However, it is just an inheritance of experience and perception. The specific training effect still needs to be cultivated by oneself. Let's try whether the health-preserving exercise is useful in this life. Thinking of this, Uchiha Xuanqing immediately stood up and began to practice the health-preserving exercise according to the practice method in his memory, dancing his body. After practicing once, Xuanqing felt a little tired and out of breath, but also felt that his body seemed to be better. He didn't know if this was his illusion. You practiced the health-preserving exercise once, proficiency +1, lifespan +1 day. Closing square bracket. Wow, it really works. At this time, sensing the information fed back to him by the talent of God rewards hard work, and seeing the extra 1 day of life in the life column of the attribute panel, Uchiha Xuanqing knew that this was not an illusion, and was immediately overjoyed. 1 time adds 1 day to my lifespan. If I do it a few more times every day, won't my lifespan increase? Even if I can only add 1 day a day, I don't have to worry about my lifespan running out for the time being. Thinking of this, Uchiha Xuanqing breathed a sigh of relief, stretched his sore body, and thought to himself, the lifespan problem has been solved temporarily. Next, I should use my medical skills and the relevant medical skills and resources of the 2 worlds to regulate my body, make up for my congenital deficiencies, and let my body recover completely. Only then can I practice and become stronger. Otherwise, it would be basically impossible to practice and become stronger with my sick and fragile body. In addition, thinking of this, Xuanqing suddenly thought of his mother in this life, Uchiha Zhili, the current elder of the Uchiha clan. Yes, that's right, it was Uchiha Zhili who created the Sharingan forbidden technique, Izanami. There are 2 theories about her time in the previous life. One is from the Sengoku era of the ninja world, before Konoha was established. The other is after Konoha was established. People in the previous life have been arguing about this. But as far as he knows, at least in the world he is currently traveling through, Uchiha Zhili did exist after the establishment of Konoha. I'm getting off topic. The health of his mother in this life, Uchiha Zhili, has also been getting worse in recent years. It has become more and more obvious in the past 6 months. Combining his medical experience in the previous life, Xuanqing judged that if he did not receive proper treatment, his mother would probably die soon. This is not okay. If he wants to change the fate of the Uchiha clan in the future, he can't do without his mother. In addition, if he wants to open up the situation in the pirate world in the early stage, he can't do without his mother's help. After all, he is a weak group now. If he goes to the pirate world by himself, let alone obtain resources, he may not be able to save his life. 80 points of favorability is not something that ordinary people can achieve. But his mother is definitely fine. Makoto's sister may also be fine. Uchiha Xuanqing thought. I can teach my mother the health-preserving exercises later, but I don't know if they will help her situation. Maybe, I can see my mother first. Or take her to the pirate world to find a famous doctor, such as Dr. Wankuleha. In short, I have to confront my mother first. Thinking of this, Xuanqing took a deep breath, walked out of the room and came to the living room. At this time, Uchiha Zhili was sitting in the living room waiting for something. When he saw Xuanqing coming out, he immediately turned around and showed a gentle and loving smile and said, "Is it out so soon? Congratulations, you have successfully extracted chakra." With Uchiha Zhili's strength, he easily sensed the weak chakra fluctuations from Xuanqing. She was happy for her son, because she knew that her son wanted to get rid of his weak body and become a powerful ninja since he was a child. The more his body did not allow it, the more determined he was in this regard. Originally, Uchiha Zhili did not want Xuanqing to bring up chakra, because his body did not allow it. But he couldn't persuade Xuanqing, and fearing that he would go to extremes, he still taught him the chakra extraction technique. Now seeing that he succeeded, Uchiha Zhili was both happy and worried. Chapter 2. Binding Mother Uchiha Yuri, teaching health preservation kung fu. Please add to favorites, give flowers. Comments. Yeah, thank you, Mom. Uchiha Xuanqing smiled back after hearing this. Then, she walked to sit opposite Uchiha Zhili, looked serious, and looked at her mother seriously and said, "Mom, are you willing to believe me?" Huh? Uchiha Zhili was stunned at first, then she reached out and touched Uchiha Xuanqing's head with a funny smile. "What nonsense are you talking about? Mom is of course always willing to believe you, so, do you have anything you want to say to Mom? Just say it." She could feel Xuanqing's seriousness. Although she was a little confused, she still believed Xuanqing unconditionally. "Thank you, Mom." Hearing this, Xuanqing smiled, and then, in the surprised look of Uchiha Zhili, his mind moved, and a mysterious rune condensed from his brows, and controlled it to float in front of his mother and said, "Mom, touch this mark with your hand first, and choose to agree in your heart. If you have any questions, let's talk about it later, okay?" It was too troublesome to explain directly, so he chose to let his mother become the binder of his time and space gate talent first. In this way, it would be easier to prove later. He had not expected it wrong before. From the moment he saw his mother, he sensed through his talent that his mother's favorability towards him was directly the full value of 100. It completely met the requirements of binding. So, don't do anything roundabout, just be direct. Oh. Uchiha Zhili looked at the mysterious mark, then looked at his son with a serious face, and nodded, "Okay." The next moment, she reached out and touched the mark. Immediately afterwards, some information emerged in her mind, and she also understood that this mark was a contract. After signing the contract with Xuanqing, she will have great benefits, but will also be controlled by Xuanqing to a certain extent. Although she was a little surprised when her son had such a strange method, out of trust in her son, Uchiha Zhili chose to agree without hesitation. The next moment, the rune mark turned into a stream of light, followed Uchiha Zhili's hand into her body, and entered her sea of consciousness between her eyebrows in the blink of an eye. It turned into a door-shaped rune phantom and sat in the center of her sea of consciousness. At the same time, the effects and limitations of this mark all flooded into her mind. This can travel through the time and space gate of the otherworld. Uchiha Yuri quickly digested this information, and looked at Uchiha Xuanqing with astonishment and surprise. "Xuanqing, what is going on?" Uchiha Xuanqing listened, smiled slightly, and explained, "Actually, it's nothing. The moment I successfully extracted chakra, I suddenly awakened such a talent. I also obtained some mysterious inheritance, and obtained some information and secrets of our world and the world opposite this time and space gate talent." Talent. Mysterious inheritance. Uchiha Yuri frowned slightly after hearing this. This kind of thing is really unheard of. It's too mysterious. "Xuanqing, didn't you get the inheritance of the immortal?" Uchiha Yuri could only think in this direction for a while. As the great elder of the Uchiha generation, she still knew many secrets of the ninja world from the Uchiha's past classics. Among them, of course, the Sage of Six Paths may not only be myths and legends, but may be real people. Is it the inheritance of immortals? Maybe. Uchiha Xuanqing shrugged his shoulders without comment, and said with a serious face, "Mom, none of this is important now. You just need to know that this is a great thing for me. The key now is to make full use of this inheritance and the resources of another world to regulate our bodies, restore our health, and prolong our lifespans, and then consider other things. What do you think?" I have obtained some medical inheritance, and I can see that your physical condition is also very bad. If you die, you will lose everything. Huh. Uchiha Zhili heard this, and his eyes suddenly lit up slightly, and asked with some surprise. So, Xuanqing, there is an inheritance that can cure your congenital weakness in the inheritance you obtained. Huh. Xuanqing nodded affirmatively. There is a health-preserving method that can regulate the body and make the body healthier. I have tried it just now, and it really works. Although the effect is not very obvious after 1 or 2 times, if you stick to it for a long time, you will definitely live longer. This is the information my talent gives me. Oh. Uchiha Zhili smiled knowingly after hearing this. He thought, it seems that little Xuanqing has some secrets. However, I don't need to know, I just need to know that it is not harmful to Xuanqing. A mother who can't be a mother doesn't need to ask questions, as long as she is sure that it is not harmful to the child. Mom, I will teach you this health-preserving exercise now. Try to practice it and see if it works for you. As he said this, Xuanqing stood up and demonstrated to her while dictating without caring whether Uchiha Zhili agreed or not. The process of demonstration and narration was extremely detailed. Uchiha Zhili did not reject her son's good intentions. While listening attentively, he opened Sharingan and copied every move of Xuanqing. You practiced the health-preserving exercise once, proficiency +1, lifespan +1 day. How is it? Did you remember everything? After finishing the first round, Zhan Qingchang let out a sigh of relief, touched the sweat on his forehead, and turned to look at his mother and asked. It's okay. Uchiha Zhili nodded affirmatively, then stood up and said, Mom will try to practice it once, you can see if there is anything wrong. Although she did not have much hope that this technique could improve her body and prolong her life, she could not let her son down. If possible, she actually hoped to live longer, protect her son to grow up healthy, happy and safe, and become her son's eternal support. Since the death of 2nd Hokage Senju Tobirama, the 4-man group headed by 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen has been increasingly malicious and suppressing Uchiha. Even Uchiha Kagami was secretly murdered by them. Although Uchiha Yuri had no clear evidence for this, she was sure that he was definitely murdered by Danzo and his men from the mysteries surrounding Uchiha Kagami's death. Now that she was supporting them, Sarutobi Hiruzen and his men did not dare to target Uchiha openly, but only dared to do some small tricks in secret and test them a little bit. They only bullied her because she was in poor health, otherwise, Uchiha Yuri would let them know the price of testing. She couldn't imagine what would happen to the Uchiha clan if she died in the short term. What would happen to her son in the future? Even if Xuanqing obtained the immortal inheritance and awakened a powerful talent, if he didn't have enough time to grow and to adjust his body, he probably wouldn't have a future. This was what Uchiha Yuri said she couldn't allow. With such thoughts and expectations, Uchiha Yuri began to try to practice the health-preserving exercises. This exercise was actually quite simple for her. Even without the Sharingan copy, she could easily remember and understand it. After all, she is a super genius. Under Xuanqing's gaze, Uchiha Zhili practiced the health-preserving exercise very smoothly and in a standard way. Mom, you are amazing. You can do it in just one time. How is it? Do you think this is useful for you? Uchiha Xuanqing waited for Uchiha Zhili to finish practicing, and couldn't help but applaud and asked in admiration. Huh. Uchiha Zhili finished the exercise, exhaled a long breath of turbid air, carefully sensed the condition of her body, and smiled softly at Xuanqing and said, it works. Although it is not very obvious yet, Mom can feel that the chronic illness of the body has been reduced a little bit, and the body is a little relaxed. I think if you practice it for a long time, you should be able to recover a lot and extend your life. Xuanqing, you are really Mom's lucky star. She was not lying. With her meticulous control of her body, she did clearly feel that this health-preserving exercise worked for her. She felt that if she persisted for a long time, combined with proper nutritional supplements and medication, she should be able to clear some chronic diseases, eliminate some hidden injuries, and restore some lost essence, thereby prolonging her life. Realizing this, Uchiha Zhili was very excited. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. Chapter 3. The Hope of Extending Life, the First Journey into the World of Pirates. Is it useful? It's good that it's useful. Uchiha Xuanqing was relieved when he heard his mother's affirmation, and immediately smiled and said, "In this way, Mom and I can continue to live. In addition, Mom, haven't I also gained a lot of knowledge and experience in medicine and herbal medicine? Wait for me to check your physical condition. I will prescribe some prescriptions for you to regulate your body and speed up your recovery according to your situation. Of course, I need it too. As long as Uchiha Zhili's body can be improved and her life can be extended, the road ahead will be much easier." Oh, Uchiha Zhili raised her eyebrows slightly after hearing this. Even medical books and herbal knowledge and experience are included. This immortal inheritance is really comprehensive. In that case, Xuanqing, you should take a good look at Mom first. As for the matter of medicinal materials, leave it to Mom. Our family is not short of money. Yes. Uchiha Xuanqing immediately checked his mother's body. Soon, Uchiha Xuanqing frowned and took back his hand from his mother's wrist, and said solemnly, "The situation is much worse than I thought. In addition to various hidden injuries, your cells have been continuously extracting chakra in the past few years, and the vitality and division are now seriously depleted, which has seriously affected your lifespan. But this is not the most fatal." Speaking of this, Uchiha Xuanqing raised his head and looked at his mother's right eye with a dull white pupil with an ugly face, saying, "The real fatal thing should be that you used Izanami at the beginning, which not only made your right eye completely blind, but also consumed a lot of your life source and soul source. This is the most fatal." He thought that the price of this forbidden technique was only blindness, but he didn't expect it. Uchiha Zhili saw Xuanqing's superficial thoughts at this time, and smiled slightly. "I didn't expect that the medical inheritance you obtained was so powerful that you could even see through such things. Moreover, you even know the forbidden technique of Izanami. It seems that what you said, knowing some information and secrets of the two worlds, is not just that simple. However, what you said is not entirely correct. Izanami is not the main reason for the consumption of my soul source and life source. After this forbidden technique is perfected, as long as it is mastered and used correctly, there will be no such side effects. The price is really just a Sharingan blinded. But this forbidden technique was developed by my mother on her own in order to prevent the internal strife of the Uchiha clan. It is normal to have some failures in the development process. Therefore, it caused the abnormal loss of soul source and life source. There is no way around it. It is a miracle that she can succeed in creating such a heaven-defying forbidden technique on her own. She was heaven-defying and lucky that she didn't die directly during the development process." "Is that so?" Uchiha Xuanqing listened, nodded in understanding, and gave his mother a thumbs up. "Mom, you are amazing. You can do such a thing. However," then, he frowned and said, "if you want to make up for your lost life, simply conditioning your body and removing hidden injuries are far from enough. You must restore your lost soul source and life source. Isn't the congenital deficiency of the body a congenital lack of life source? And these, with the medical knowledge I have mastered so far, cannot be made up. Maybe, we have to go to the pirate world across the space-time gate to find a way to treat it." Of course, if he can rely on the talent of heaven rewarding hard work to improve his Chinese medicine skills to a small success or even a great success, it is estimated that there will be a way. But this requires a lot of time. Maybe he can wait with his health-preserving skills and the talent of heaven rewarding hard work, but his mother may not be able to wait. Moreover, the ninja world is too dangerous. The key is to heal myself and my mother as soon as possible and improve my strength as soon as possible. Time is running out." Oh, Uchiha Yuri was a little surprised. Is there such a powerful doctor in that world who can solve our physical problems? If so, that would be great. I think so. Uchiha Xuanqing nodded uncertainly. That world is also quite magical. Then, Uchiha Xuanqing gave his mother a general introduction to the worldview of the pirate world, devil fruit, and other things. Then he said, "Among the devil fruits, the healing fruit, the hormone fruit, etc., should be able to cure our problems. Of course, these are not easy to find. We can go to the Drum Island to find the witch Dr. Kuleha. She not only has extremely powerful medical skills, but it is even said that she has the secret of the longevity medicine. Even if she can't completely cure us, she should be able to help us recover a lot and extend our lifespan a lot, so that we can have more time to find a solution. The most important thing is that she is easier to find. At this point, Uchiha Xuanqing looked at his mother and said, "So, Mom, let's take time to go to the pirate world as soon as possible and find Dr. Kuleha to treat us and regulate our bodies." Okay. After listening to it, Uchiha Zhili thought about it for a while, and nodded in agreement. Then he asked, "However, how long do you think it will take to get there? I can arrange things for the tribe in advance." Uchiha Xuanqing hesitated after hearing this and said, "I don't know about this either. Because I don't know where we will be after we get there, how about you go there with me first? Determine the approximate location, and then come back." He even needs to confirm the timeline there. I hope the plot hasn't started yet. Xuanqing thought. Okay. Uchiha Zhili naturally had no objection. "It just so happens that I'm free today, so let's go now. Do you need me to prepare anything?" "No." Xuanqing shook his head. "Anyway, I can return at any time, so there's no need to prepare anything else. But I'm not sure if the location over there is safe, so, Mom, please help pay attention. He is just a weak chicken now, don't let him die as soon as he gets there, that would be a tragedy." "Well, leave it to Mom. Mom is very strong." Uchiha Zhili smiled and waved his fist. "Yeah." Uchiha Xuanqing also smiled and nodded, then reached out and grabbed one of Uchiha Zhili's hands, and with a thought, he directly activated the space-time gate rune in the Sea of Consciousness. The next moment, he and Uchiha Zhili disappeared in the house. Pirate World, the first half of the Grand Line, a sea area between the Seven Waters and the Sabayati Archipelago. Two pirate groups are fighting fiercely at this time. One side is the fleet of the Nine Snake Island, and the other side is the Crazy Shark slave group specializing in the slave trade. Bring the boat over and capture them. The female warriors of the Nine Snake Island are top quality goods and will definitely sell for a high price. Haha. Leave it to us. Boss. Kill. Quote. The battle lasted only more than 10 minutes, and the Nine Snake pirates were at an absolute disadvantage. They were beaten back by the Crazy Shark slave group and the enemy landed on the ship. "Sister, what should we do? Everyone is in danger." Sandersonia asked with a terrified face, hiding behind her sister. "Yes, sister. What should we do? Go up to help." Marigold also asked immediately. Chapter 4. Rescue the Three Hancock Sisters, The Art of Fighting in Uchiha Zhili. Hancock, who was only 12 years old, wanted to say something, but suddenly her face changed drastically. She turned her head and looked at the cabin behind her. She stretched out her hands to protect her two sisters behind her, and shouted to the cabin, "Who? Come out." At the same time, she was wondering in her heart, has there been an enemy sneaking into the cabin? At this time, a voice came from the cabin, accompanied by a sound of footsteps. "Don't worry, we are not your enemies. We just broke in accidentally. Can I ask where this is?" Soon, two figures, one big and one small, came out of the cabin. The visitors were Xuanqing and Uchiha Zhili. They didn't expect that the first teleportation location was actually on a ship. As soon as Xuanqing came out, he looked around. From the appearance of the ship of Nine Snake Island, especially the two giant snakes, he instantly judged that this should be the ship of Nine Snake Island. Then, look at the three sisters of Hancock. From their appearance and the information about the ship on Nine Snake Island, Xuanqing also guessed, could this be the three Hancock sisters? So, the current timeline is before Hancock became a slave. This is good news for Xuanqing. So beautiful. When the three Hancock sisters saw Uchiha Zhili, they couldn't help but admire her subconsciously. Uchiha Zhili is not only very beautiful, but more importantly, her mature and gentle temperament is particularly attractive. Of course, the three Hancock sisters only admired her subconsciously. Although Hancock felt that Uchiha Zhili and Uchiha Xuanqing did not look like bad people, she still did not let down her guard and asked, "Who are you? What is your purpose here?" "Don't worry." Uchiha Zhili saw their vigilance, looked around, and comforted the three Hancock sisters softly. "My name is Uchiha Zhili, this is my son Uchiha Xuanqing, we are here to treat illnesses. It's just an accident that we are here. Have you been invaded? I can help you defeat the enemy. As a price, you tell me the location of this place, and then send us to Magnetic Drum Island, how about it?" Huh. Hancock was stunned when he heard it. Treatment. Magnetic Drum Island. Can you really help us? Ha 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 ha. At this time, an unpleasant laugh sounded from far to near, attracting the attention of Hancock and others. I saw a pirate who was over 2 meters tall and looked extremely rough and ugly. He looked at Uchiha Zhili and Hancock with a grin and said proudly, "Look what I see. There are not only 3 little beauties here, but also a mature big beauty, and even a pretty boy with delicate skin and good looks. It's a pity that you, the pretty boy, are sick and you can't live long. Otherwise, it would be a good commodity." Uchiha Xuanqing. If he couldn't beat it now, he would have wanted to kill this dog directly. Surrender to me obediently, and you can suffer less. Otherwise, he. Hearing the pirate's threatening words, Uchiha Zhili ignored him directly and turned to Hancock and said, "Wait, let me deal with these garbage first." "What did you say?" When the pirate heard this, his face suddenly sank, and he was ready to swing the machete in his hand to attack Uchiha Zhili and teach her a lesson. The next moment, Uchiha Zhili turned his head and looked at him. The Sharingan in his left eye had been opened at some point, and turned into a strange Mangekyo Sharingan. Illusion Sharingan. Then, the pirate just stood there, without moving. Puff! Uchiha Zhili flashed, passed by the pirate, and killed other pirates not far away. The pirate controlled by the illusion suddenly spurted out a stream of blood from his neck, and then his head rolled to the ground, his eyes wide open, as if he was dying with his eyes open. Fire Style Phoenix Claw Red. Fire Style Gao Long Fire Technique. Wind Style Vacuum Sword. Uchiha Zhili continued to perform ninjutsu, bombarding those pirates who were not from the Nine Snake Island. Soon, the battlefield over there became Uchiha Zhili's show. The pirates of the Nine Snakes pirates were dazzled by the strange ninjutsu. Uchiha Zhili's efficiency in killing enemies was frighteningly high. After some of the pirates were killed, especially after seeing several leaders being killed easily, they began to flee in panic. In just a few minutes, the battle was completely over. Except for the dozen pirates who escaped, the remaining hundreds of pirates were basically killed by Uchiha Zhili. "Your mother is so powerful." The 3 sisters of Hancock witnessed all this, and Hancock couldn't help but turn to Uchiha Xuanqing with bright eyes. "Ha ha. Of course." Uchiha Xuanqing smiled knowingly after hearing this. "Yes, she is Uchiha Zhili. Thank you for saving me. I wonder if you are." The leader of the Nine Snake Pirates dragged his injured body to a place not far from Uchiha Zhili, and asked with gratitude and confusion. "We are just passing by, don't worry too much." Uchiha Zhili smiled and waved his hand, and walked towards Xuanqing and the others. Then he said to Hancock, "Okay. I have done what I said. Then I will trouble you to take us to Magnetic Drum Island first, is that okay?" "Ah." Hancock blinked his eyes after hearing this, and looked at the leader with an embarrassed look. "Leader." She was also helpless at this time. She hadn't agreed yet, but Uchiha Zhili helped on her own. But she couldn't deny Uchiha Zhili's kindness. Because without Uchiha Zhili's help, their entire pirate group might suffer. But this matter is obviously not something she can decide. She is not the future pirate queen yet. Seeing this, the leader immediately understood the situation and immediately said to Uchiha Zhili, "Magnetic Drum Island. Is it the Magnetic Drum Island where the Iron Bucket Kingdom is located? I heard that there is a civilization with superb medical skills there. Are you going to go there for treatment?" While speaking, she also glanced at the sick Uchiha Xuanqing. "Yes." Uchiha Zhili nodded affirmatively. "Is it okay?" "Of course." The leader nodded affirmatively. "We all remember your life-saving grace in our hearts. We, the Nine Snakes Pirates, are not the kind of people who will not repay a favor. We agree to this. But this alone is far from enough to repay your kindness. Do you have any other requests? Although, as long as we can do it, we will try our best to meet your needs. In addition, many of our people are currently seriously injured, and we have already asked our former captain for help, so we need to go to Sabayati Archipelago to rest first. After the repair, we will send you to Magnetic Drum Island, okay? It's just right that you can think about the rewards you need during this period." The leader also wanted to report this matter to the former captain Xiaoyao first, and it would be better for her to give the reward. "I may not have enough things in my hands to give a reward." "Is that so?" Uchiha Zhili did not answer immediately, but looked at Uchiha Xuanqing. Xuanqing, what do you think? Okay. Uchiha Xuanqing naturally had no objection, and it would be better to say that this is better. Just in time to meet Xiaoyao and Rayleigh. Then let's do it. Uchiha Zhili heard this, smiled with satisfaction, and said to the leader, then let's do as you said first. Thank you. The leader was relieved after hearing this. Hancock was immediately sent to prepare a room for Xuanqing and others to rest. Then, he began to command people to clean up the battlefield, treat companions, and repair the damaged parts of the ship. Chapter 5 Conqueror's Haki, Rokushiki, and the Return of Life. How about this room? Do you need 2 rooms? Hancock quickly took Uchiha Xuanqing to a spacious and exquisite cabin and asked. Sure, 1 room is enough. Uchiha Zhili took a look and nodded with satisfaction, then asked, by the way, how long does it take to get to Sabayati Archipelago from here? Hancock hesitated and said, it will probably take 1 or 2 days. Any questions? She still has a good impression of Uchiha Zhili and Xuanqing. If Xuanqing hadn't been there this time, they would have been captured and made slaves. No, nothing, just asking. Go and get busy first. There are still many of your companions who need your help. Wait until you're done. Uchiha Zhili shook his head and gestured. Well, thank you. Then I'll go and take a look first and come back later. By the way, I'll prepare some food for you when the time comes. Hancock followed suit and left quickly after saying this. Uchiha Zhili took Xuanqing into the cabin and closed the door. Then she turned to Uchiha Xuanqing and asked, it seems that you know some information about little Hancock and even this pirate group. Tell mom about it. Okay. Uchiha Xuanqing naturally did not refuse, and immediately told her mother all the information she knew. Uchiha Zhili was surprised after listening. Most of the female warriors of the 9 Snake Island, who are all female, have mastered armament haki, and some have mastered observation haki. Did they have the power of the inheritance of 2-color haki? It's quite powerful. This reminds me of a place called Nadeshiko Village in the ninja world, which is somewhat similar to the 9 Snake Island. They are all female. When Uchiha Xuanqing heard the name of Nadeshiko Village, he immediately thought of Jiraiya. In the future, it seems that this guy has a deep connection with Nadeshiko Village, and he also tricked Naruto. So, what do you think about us asking for the 2-color haki training method in return? Uchiha Zhili asked. She was also very curious about the power system of this world. She wanted to study it. From Uchiha Xuanqing's description and some of the situations observed in the previous battle, both the observation haki and the armament haki have extremely high value. It's better not to. Xuanqing listened and shook his head directly. This involves the inheritance of 9 Snake Island. Not only is it easy to be rejected, but it is also easy to offend 9 Snake Island. It's not worth the loss. Next, they will go to their former captain, Xiaoyao, who is also the previous emperor of 9 Snake Island. She is at least a super master of 2-color haki. She also has a very strong intelligence channel. Even, there is her lover, the former deputy of the Pirate King, Zailuba's Rayleigh. Rayleigh is even a super strong emperor of Grandmaster Conqueror's haki. If converted to our world, he should be much stronger than cage-level strongman. I'm afraid even if he is not as good as first Hokage Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara, he should not be much worse. We can completely ask for Rayleigh or Xiaoyao's Conqueror's haki training experience and even Marine 6 styles and the practice and experience of returning life. This is not only better, but it will not be misunderstood as coveting the haki inheritance of the 9 Snake Island. What do you think, Mom? Many times, when it comes to the secrets of racial inheritance, it is easy to cause unnecessary misunderstandings. Uchiha Zhili was stunned when she heard it, a strong man comparable to Uchiha Madara. The haki practice experience of such a strong man should be more precious, right? Can they agree? If possible, she naturally thinks that what Xuanqing said is better. At the same time, she also felt that there are far more top strong men in this world than in the ninja world. Of course, considering the population of this world, she thinks it is normal. This place is much larger than the ninja world. It shouldn't be a problem. Uchiha Xuanqing nodded affirmatively. Neither Peony nor Rayleigh are the kind of stingy people, they are also grateful people. At most, I'll trade them for information they can't refuse. Whether it's Conqueror's Haki training experience or Marine 6 styles and life return, I'll take it. The opportunity is fleeting. He originally thought that he wouldn't get these good things so quickly. Now that he has this opportunity, he naturally can't miss it. Since you are confident, then do as you say. Uchiha Zhili listened, naturally no objection, and then asked doubtfully, but what is this Marine 6 styles and life return? Is it important? Can it make you always remember it? Is it related to the Marine of this world? Yes. Uchiha Xuanqing nodded affirmatively. It's related to Marine, to be precise, it's related to world government. It's a superhuman skill that develops human potential and strengthens the human body. Moreover, it should be regarded as a prerequisite for the systematic training of two-color Haki. Mastering the 6 styles, then the distance to awakening the mastery of armament Haki and observation Haki is not far away. Of course, this is not the key. The most important thing is that after mastering the 6 styles, you will have the opportunity to master further extraordinary physical skills. Life return, this skill may accelerate the recovery of your body and ours, and even strengthen the speed, and help restore the source of life. Let alone integrating the will into every cell of the body, the fact that this skill can greatly enhance the digestion and recovery capabilities, and quickly convert a large amount of food into vitality is something that Xuanqing cannot refuse. After Xuanqing roughly told Uchiha Zhili about the 6 styles and life return, she suddenly realized, strengthen the digestion and recovery capabilities, and control every inch of flesh and blood in the body. It is indeed a very strong superhuman physical skill. If you have this, will it also be effective for the rapid recovery of cell energy? In other words, isn't it also very effective for the rapid recovery of chakra? The ability to save life will also be greatly improved. Yeah. Uchiha Xuanqing listened and nodded affirmatively. It should all be effective. That's why I said this is very important. Of course, it will be very difficult to master life return. It seems that only a very few super geniuses can master it in the entire pirate world. CP9, all members have mastered the 6 styles, and it seems that only Rob Lucci has mastered life return. This shows the difficulty of this skill. Difficulty is not a problem. As long as there is a training method, Mom believes that I can definitely learn it. Uchiha Zhili said confidently. Who is not a genius? Hee. That's right. Uchiha Xuanqing smiled when he saw his mother like this, and then said, by the way. I guess you have noticed it too, Mom. The people in this world are extremely strong, much stronger than those in the ninja world. Yeah. Uchiha Zhili nodded affirmatively. I noticed it a long time ago. This should have a lot to do with the environment here, right? Mom has sensed it. In the sea of this world, there are countless creatures with huge vitality and size. This is just the shallow sea surface. There may be more powerful sea beasts in the deeper layers, right? Of course, the human physique in this world may also be different from that of the people in the ninja world. She needs to study it before she can judge clearly. It's mainly the environment. Uchiha Xuanqing Kaido, there are even super sea kings thousands of meters long in the ocean of this world, and there are countless sea kings tens and hundreds of meters long. Even for land creatures, there are countless beasts tens of meters long. So, I think we may often hunt some sea kings and beast meat for food. Combined with health-preserving exercises and physical training, it may not only speed up our body recovery and quickly strengthen our physique, but also restore some vitality. What do you think, Mom? Chapter 6 Uchiha Zhili, Fugaku is not fit to be the clan leader. Yes. Uchiha Zhili nodded affirmatively after hearing this. Even if you don't say it, I will do it later. This kind of good thing that strengthens the body cannot be missed. In the future, you can even consider providing some Sea King's meat to those obedient and loyal members of the tribe to strengthen their strength. After all, the Uchiha tribe will definitely be handed over to you in the future. If they become stronger, it will be of great help to you in the future. Unfortunately, not everyone can meet the requirements of the contract. Otherwise, you can send some people to establish a stable base to hunt sea kings and fierce beasts for a long time. In this way, I don't have to do it myself. At this point, Uchiha Zhili paused and said to Uchiha Xuanqing said, In view of this, when your body is better and your strength is gradually improved, Mom will help you gradually establish prestige in the tribe. Also, arrange some children in the tribe to follow you to contact and learn, so that it will be convenient for you to influence and subdue them. Try to improve their favorability as soon as possible, so that it will be convenient for you to contract at that time. How about it? Obviously, since knowing Xuanqing's talent characteristics, Uchiha Zhili has been thinking about these things. Everything was arranged clearly for Xuanqing, and he didn't have to worry too much. Originally, considering her own impending death and Xuanqing's physical condition, Uchiha Zhili intended to support and train the third elder's son Uchiha Fugaku to become the next tribe leader. But now, she has changed her mind. Sure enough, it is better to let her son come. Fugaku is not decisive and tough enough, and is not a suitable candidate for the tribe leader. Uchiha Xuanqing naturally has no need to refuse. Well, then listen to you, Mom. Having a powerful mother saves him a lot of things. Xuanqing was very glad that he had contracted his mother at the first time. By the way, at this time, Uchiha Zhili asked again, Xuanqing, do you think that after I go back, I can leave a shadow clone there, or leave a shadow clone here, and maintain it for a period of time? If it can, it will be much more convenient next time. Otherwise, the time wasted on the road will affect the ninja world. It makes her unable to split her time. This time, she was just here to explore the way and didn't plan to stay for a long time. I didn't expect that the place to land was actually on a pirate ship in the sea, and she also saved the Nine Snakes pirates group by the way, so she had to change her plan. Well, you can try it. Maybe, it should be possible. Xuanqing listened and said uncertainly. Then try it. Immediately, the two tried it. The result is undoubtedly successful. Leaving Shadow Clone in the ninja world or the pirate world, the original body is in another world, and Shadow Clone will not disappear directly. Xuanqing even found that he could set coordinates at any location he had been to and then teleport to that location. This also includes people or ships, and other objects. This is really awesome. It means that he can freely teleport to places he has been to in the future. This is not limited to the world of pirates, the same should apply to the world of Hokage. If it weren't for the fact that his strength and timing are not right now, Xuanqing would have wanted to open the map. In this way, we can even go home and rest for a few days, and then go there in person when we reach the Sabayati archipelago. What do you think, Mom? Uchiha Xuanqing looked at Uchiha Zhili and asked. Uchiha Zhili pondered for a moment and said, let's try to leave one person there. To avoid problems or being seen through. After all, we don't know whether observation Haki can see through Shadow Clone. Also, at this point, she stretched out her hand and pinched Xuanqing's cheek with a smile and said, have you forgotten that you have only extracted a trace of chakra and have not mastered Shadow Clone at all? Even, with your current physical condition, it is not suitable for you to extract more chakra or even practice Shadow Clone technique. Uchiha Xuanqing's face froze when he heard it, and he said helplessly, I forgot. It seems that I have to recover my body as soon as possible. Otherwise, there will be too many inconveniences. Haha. Don't worry. Don't worry. Take your time. It will get better. Uchiha Zhili saw Xuanqing's depressed look, and couldn't help but touch his head to comfort him. No more talking, let's practice health-preserving exercises first. I don't think I have reached the limit for today. As he said, Uchiha Xuanqing stood up and continued to practice health-preserving exercises. He also wanted to test the maximum number of times he could practice every day. Okay. Mom will practice with you. Try to recover our bodies as soon as possible. Uchiha Zhili smiled and stood up to practice with him. You practiced health-preserving exercises once, proficiency +1, lifespan +1 day. You practiced health-preserving exercises once, proficiency +1, lifespan +1 day. ... After 2 times. I can't do it anymore. Uchiha Xuanqing panted, sat down on the floor, wiped the sweat on his face, and stopped practicing. He was too tired, and now he felt sore all over. At the same time, he felt very hungry. Obviously, his body would not allow him to continue practicing for the time being. Even for health-preserving exercises, energy and nutrition sources are required. On the contrary, Uchiha Zhili was far from reaching his limit. Seeing Xuanqing so tired, she practiced while comforting him. Since you feel that you have reached your limit, then you should rest first. Mom will continue to practice. Try to recover your peak strength as soon as possible. Due to physical problems over the years, her strength has declined greatly. This world is too dangerous, so she should try to recover her peak strength as soon as possible. Okay, I'll think about the prescription for recuperation first. Also, copy some medical books and use them as a reward for Dr. Kuleha. If there is not enough reward, this person will not be able to talk. The name of the witch is not for nothing. You are very thoughtful, just do as you say. Uchiha Zhili naturally had no objection, and was only relieved in her heart. The child really grew up overnight. It seems that the inheritance is very powerful, and Xuanqing has been given too much knowledge and information. Also, information about the ninja world and the pirate world. I'm afraid it's not just information about the past and the present, but it may also include information about the future. When I have time, I have to ask Xuanqing carefully, so as to prepare for the future. Uchiha Zhili thought to herself while practicing. She could feel that her son had a sense of urgency since he awakened his talent and obtained the inheritance of the immortal. It's not just because of her and Xuanqing's own lifespan. She felt Xuanqing's strong desire to become stronger and a strong sense of crisis. It seems that the future of our family and even Uchiha is not good. Otherwise, Xuanqing would not be so anxious. Xuanqing didn't know that his mother had inferred so much from some of his detailed emotional changes. He first flashed back to the ninja world, took some blank papers from home, and began to copy medical books while prescribing prescriptions for the two to regulate their bodies and heal their bodies according to his own situation and the physical condition of Uchiha Zhili before. More than an hour passed in a blink of an eye. After practicing the health-preserving exercises dozens of times, Uchiha Zhili also stopped temporarily. Chapter 7 The miraculous effect of Sea King's meat plus health-preserving exercises, the source of life begins to recover. Knock, knock, knock. At this time, there was a knock on the door in Hancock's voice. Sister Chiri, can I come in? It's time for dinner. Come out and eat. Squeak. The next moment, Uchiha Chiri walked over and opened the cabin door, smiling and saying to Hancock, have you eaten? Thank you. Please lead the way. As she said that, she turned around and waved to Xuanqing over there, and followed Hancock out of the room. Xuanqing also stopped writing, got up and followed. Soon, several people came to a huge restaurant. Master Chiri, welcome, welcome. Thank you Master Chiri for your previous rescue. Quote. A group of female warriors from Nine Snake Island saw Uchiha Chiri appear, and they all thanked Uchiha Chiri respectfully with gratitude. There was also this respect and fanaticism in their eyes. Obviously, for the female warriors of Nine Snake Island, strong women can arouse their favor and admiration. Of course, there were also a few female hooligans who walked over and started to tease Xuanqing. Xuanqing was so annoyed. What the hell is going on? Okay. Lord Zhili and the others are here, let's eat. Lord Zhili, please sit here. The leader clapped his hands and immediately guided Uchiha Zhili and Xuanqing to sit down at the main seat. After Uchiha Zhili and the others started eating, he invited everyone to eat. This meat. After swallowing a mouthful of meat, Uchiha Zhili felt warm in her stomach, and streams of warm current began to flow throughout her body. Her eyes suddenly lit up. This kind of meat full of vitality and nutrition is comparable to many precious medicines in the ninja world. But here it's just a piece of meat. Unbelievable. Considering the sea beasts full of vitality she had sensed in the sea and what Xuanqing had said before, although she was excited in her heart, she remained calm on the surface and asked the leader beside her, this should be the meat of sea kings, right? Yes. The leader listened, nodded affirmatively, and asked with a smile, it's just the meat of an ordinary sea kings over 100 meters long. Is it still to your taste? In fact, the leader also found some abnormalities in Uchiha Zhili and Xuanqing. That is, the two of them gave her the feeling that their physique and vitality were not particularly strong. If she hadn't seen Uchiha Zhili's powerful strength before, she wouldn't have believed that Uchiha Zhili, who had such a weak physique and vitality, would be so strong. In the general perception of the pirate world, The vitality and physique of the strong must be strong. Even those who rely on devil fruit have vitality far beyond that of ordinary people. And Uchiha Zhili gave her the feeling that her vitality was not even as good as hers. Let alone Xuanqing, whose vitality and physique were not even as good as those of ordinary civilian children. Of course, she didn't think deeply about it, just thinking that Xuanqing or even Uchiha Zhili had a physical problem. After all, they seemed to be planning to see a doctor. That's good. You're thoughtful. Uchiha Zhili responded with a smile on the surface, but was quite surprised in her heart. The meat of sea kings that is 100 meters long has this effect, so what if it is hundreds of meters or even thousands of meters of sea king's meat? I dare not imagine it. She felt that just relying on the meat of sea kings in her mouth, combined with health-preserving exercises for a month, her physique and vitality would have to increase several times. At this time, as the meat of sea kings was digested, a stream of warm currents flowed through her body. She could clearly feel that every cell of her body was hungry for this warm current energy and devoured it crazily. Her physical condition also improved at a speed visible to the naked eye, and even her face became a lot rosier. Long-term refining of chakra, coupled with the fact that the origin of life is indeed, suddenly gained vitality and high nutrient substances suitable for cell absorption, the effect is a bit too obvious. But Xuanqing's side is not so good. As soon as he swallowed a piece of sea king's meat, he felt the pressure in his stomach increase greatly. It felt difficult to digest and the digestion speed was very slow. But the vitality and nutrition contained in this little bit of meat that was slowly digested also made him feel warm all over. The fatigue and soreness from the previous training dissipated a lot. The chronic illness also dissipated a little. I didn't expect that my stomach and digestive system are so weak. Uchiha Xuanqing's heart sank, and he immediately ate a few more small pieces of meat, then stopped and said to his mother and the leader, "Mom, I don't feel like I have much appetite now, so I'll eat this first. I'll take some food back to the room first." He was going to try to digest it with the health-preserving exercises to see if it worked. Otherwise, in the current situation, he was afraid that he would not be able to enjoy the meat of the sea kings. If even the health-preserving exercises didn't work, he could only prescribe himself a drug that improves digestion. Uchiha Yuri was slightly startled when she heard this, and after looking at Xuanqing, she roughly understood what Xuanqing's expression meant, and nodded immediately, "Okay. Then you go." After that, she turned to the team leader and said, "I'm sorry. The child is too weak." "It's okay." The team leader heard this and shook his head, "I hope he can get better soon. Don't worry, we will finish the work as soon as possible and send you to the magnetic drum island for treatment." Then, the team leader ordered Hancock not far away, "Hancock, take brother Xuanqing back to the room." "Okay." Hancock heard this, and could only put down the food in his hand helplessly, stood up and waved to Xuanqing, and then took Xuanqing out of the living room. Xuanqing quickly picked up the large plate of meat in front of him and followed. On the way, "It seems that you are really seriously ill. I hope you can get better soon." Hancock looked at Xuanqing with sympathy. "I will." Xuanqing smiled and nodded. He still had some confidence. At the same time, he also checked with his talent. Hancock's favorability towards him reached 52 points. It was not low. "Unfortunately, my strength is too weak now. If I personally rescued Hancock and the others this time, I am afraid that Hancock and even some of the female warriors of Nine Snake Island would have reached the minimum requirement for binding, right?" Xuanqing thought with some regret in his heart. This is not an exaggeration. Because the female warriors of Nine Snake Island are relatively pure, the favorability of the savior will be higher. Soon, Hancock sent Xuanqing back to the room. Xuanqing did not keep her any longer and sent her to continue eating. After Hancock left, Xuanqing put down the food in his hand and stretched his body. He felt that he had recovered a lot. The soreness and fatigue had been reduced by more than half after more than an hour of rest and the recuperation of sea king's meat in his stomach. He immediately began to practice health-preserving exercises. As the action progressed, Xuanqing could clearly feel that the digestion of sea king's meat in the stomach was accelerated. At the same time, a stream of warm current spread from the stomach to the whole body. The whole person felt warm and comfortable. You eat Sea King's meat to assist in practicing health-preserving exercises, proficiency +3, life +3, life source +0.01. Wow! Not only has the lifespan increase effect doubled, but it can even restore the life source. That's great. This life source should be related to the root of my congenital deficiency, right? There is hope for recovery. Perhaps, as long as the meat of Sea Kings is combined with health-preserving exercises, without additional treatment and conditioning, I can make up for my congenital deficiency and completely recover my health, right? Uchiha Xuanqing thought excitedly in his heart. He felt that he still underestimated the benefits of Sea King's meat to him as a ninja. Chapter 8: The Dawn of Full Recovery, Uchiha Zhili's Joy. Keep going. Since it is so effective, and the health-preserving exercise can indeed speed up the digestion of Sea King's meat, then what reason does he have to stop? The key is that with the help of Sea King's meat, he not only did not feel much physical fatigue and soreness but felt better. Immediately, Xuanqing continued to practice again and again. You eat Sea King's meat to assist in practicing health-preserving exercises, proficiency +3, life +3, life source +0.01. You eat Sea King's meat to assist in practicing health-preserving exercises, proficiency +3, life +3, life source +0.01. As the Sea King's meat in the stomach was quickly digested and converted into vitality and nutrition to be absorbed by Xuanqing, his body almost recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. Even his face began to show a faint redness, no longer withered and pale before. Looking much healthier. After practicing more than 10 times in a row, Xuanqing felt that his body was really exhausted to the limit, and most of the Sea King's meat in his stomach was consumed, so he stopped. After finishing the exercise, he took a long breath and wiped the sweat off his face. Although his body was tired and sore, he felt like he had unloaded a heavy burden and felt much more energetic. Walking to the table and sitting down, Xuanqing looked at the large plate of Sea King's meat in front of him, thought for a while, and waved his hand to put it directly into the space-time gate. He also designated an area to prohibit time inside, and prepared to use it specifically to store food and other things to prevent them from spoiling. He had absolute control over the space-time gate, so he could do this easily. Then, Xuanqing checked his attribute transformation. Lifespan, 7 months and 12 days, congenital deficiency, life origin, 3.4310. It was found that there was a significant change in the lifespan column. Not only did the lifespan increase by more than a month, but there was also an additional state, and the life origin situation was also directly revealed. A normal 6-year-old person has about 10 life essences. I'm really short of it. No wonder my lifespan is so short. Currently, practicing health-preserving exercises with Sea King's meat can restore 0.01 life essences. The limit of practicing health-preserving exercises with Sea King's meat is about 15 times a day. Later, as the essence is restored and the body is strengthened, the number of times you can practice every day will definitely increase. If you don't rely on other means, just the current combination, it will take about 60 days, or 2 months, to completely restore the true life essence. Thinking of this, Xuanqing's eyes began to shine. Great. It only takes 2 times at most to recover health, which is much shorter than I thought. He even began to imagine the scene of completely recovering his body, and then relying on his talent and hard work to rapidly become stronger, unifying the ninja world, and dominating the pirate world. That day will not be too far away. Uchiha Xuanqing waved his fist confidently and muttered. What won't be too far? At this time, Uchiha Yuri's voice came from outside the door. Then, the door was pushed open and Uchiha Yuri walked in. Seeing Xuanqing, she keenly noticed that Xuanqing's vitality had improved and his condition had improved a lot. She immediately excitedly, swooshed, and flashed in front of Xuanqing, grabbed one of Xuanqing's hands, and used chakra and perception to explore Xuanqing's physical condition. Finding that all this was not her illusion, she immediately looked at Xuanqing with joy and excitement and asked, "How did you recover so much? So fast? Is it the effect of Sea King's meat?" "Yeah." Xuanqing nodded affirmatively and pointed to the open door over there. "Wait for Uchiha Yuri to wave his hand and control the door with chakra line to close it." Xuanqing spoke Kaido, it is the effect of Sea King's meat combined with health-preserving exercises. I left the restaurant before because I found that with my previous physical condition, my digestive ability was also sharply reduced, and it was difficult to digest the Sea King's meat. So I thought, if I could speed up digestion by using health-preserving exercises. As it turned out, my guess was correct. The health-preserving exercises combined with Sea King's meat not only doubled the effect of cultivation, but also greatly reduced the fatigue and soreness of the body during cultivation, and increased my number of cultivation times. The most important thing is that through my talent, I also feel that this method is restoring the source of my life. I estimate that with this method, it will take less than 2 months for me to completely make up for my congenital deficiencies and get a truly healthy body. If combined with appropriate conditioning medicine, this time will only be faster. Really? Uchiha Zhili was so excited after hearing this. Can this method really restore your congenital deficiencies? Yes, absolutely true. Uchiha Xuanqing nodded affirmatively. Moreover, I believe that this method should also be effective for your mother's lack of life source. So, please also practice health-preserving exercises with me in this way. With your physique and digestive ability, I believe that your speed of recovering the life source will only be faster than mine. Of course, your level of understanding of health-preserving exercises must also be improved. His health-preserving exercises are at the level of minor success, and the effect is much stronger than Uchiha Zhili's. Well, Mom listens to you. I'll practice it. Uchiha Zhili nodded happily, and with a gentle look, she reached out and touched Xuanqing's cheek, and immediately walked aside to start practicing health-preserving exercises. And Xuanqing was not idle either, and continued to copy medical books. From time to time, he also paid attention to Uchiha Zhili and gave her some advice on health-preserving exercises. In this way, with Uchiha Zhili's genius, her proficiency in health-preserving exercises increased at a speed visible to the naked eye. After more than 10 rounds of beating, Uchiha Zhili felt that the Sea King's meat in her stomach had been completely digested, and she stopped. With her physique, she naturally had not reached the limit of physical exercise. Especially with the endless vitality and high nutrition to restore her condition. She stopped simply because the Sea King's meat was digested. At this time, her health-preserving skills also broke through the entry stage and reached the proficient stage. Give her a few more days, she feels that she should be able to break through the Grandmaster level of health-preserving skills. Xuanqing, Mom feels like she has recovered to her peak state. Uchiha Zhili stopped practicing, walked to Xuanqing and sat down and said, not only the serious illnesses and hidden injuries in the body have been repaired a lot during the practice, but even the origin of life has been restored a lot. The method you said is indeed useful. Mom feels that if I give me more than 20 days, my origin of life can be completely restored. Unfortunately, the origin of the soul is not so easy to restore. Otherwise, I can really fully recover to my peak in the short term. Fortunately, the lack of the origin of the soul does not have such a great impact on lifespan. As long as the life source is completely restored, her lifespan can be restored by more than half, and living for another few decades is not a problem at all. Moreover, after the life source is restored, it can slowly nourish the soul and slowly restore the soul source. If her life source and physique are further strengthened, the nourishing effect will be further increased. It seems that it is no longer a luxury to recover to the peak. Who would have thought that a meal of otherworld Sea King's meat combined with health-preserving exercises can have such a heaven-defying effect? She even felt a warm feeling in her blind right eye, as if it was recovering. Chapter 9, Ways to Speed Up Soul Recovery, Zan Qing, Fugaku is a fool, please add to favorites, give flowers, and give comments. That's good. Congratulations, Mom. Uchiha Xuanqing was also very happy to hear this. This is really the best thing for him. As for the soul origin, we can think of a way later. By the way, Mom, is there any meditation method in the clan to improve mental and soul power? Yin Dun practice method is also fine. Uchiha Xuanqing asked again. With the talent of God's reward for hard work, even if there is no complete spiritual practice method in the ninja world and the pirate world at present. But as long as there is a broken or imperfect spiritual or even soul practice method, he is sure to break the limit with the talent of God's reward for hard work, and suddenly realize and create a real spiritual and soul practice method. By then, will it still be a problem to restore the missing soul origin of Uchiha Zhili? Not at all. Even, it is possible to rely on this to optimize the opening method of Sharingan, and even create a complete Mangekyo Sharingan, Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and Rinnegan practice method. Well, Uchiha Zhili frowned and said, it is true that it can improve mental power and practice Yin-dun meditation, but the effect is not very good. It requires constant practice to be effective. Do you need it? She guessed that her son asked this question because he probably had a way to improve mental power and even restore the essence of the soul. The immortal inheritance was obviously not as simple as she imagined. Yes. Uchiha Xuanqing listened and nodded happily. As long as it is effective, I will find a way to further improve it. By then, your soul essence may also be able to actively accelerate recovery. Okay. Uchiha Zhili did not ask more questions, but nodded with emotion. I will get it for you when mom goes back later. But remember to take care of your body, don't be too anxious. Take your time. Mom's body has recovered a lot, and she can live for a long time in the future. Don't push yourself too hard. No matter what kind of bad future you see, there is mom. Mom will always be your support behind you and can protect you from the wind and rain. Seeing Uchiha Zhili's serious expression and hearing her words, Xuanqing felt warm in his heart, chuckled and nodded. Yes. I know, mom. But how do you know that I know about the future? Hee. Uchiha Zhili heard this, smiled and stretched out a finger to gently touch Xuanqing's forehead and joked. You underestimated your mother, didn't you? You didn't hide too much in front of your mother before, and your mother can still infer something. So, what will the future Uchiha and the future ninja world be like? What makes you so eager to save my life and so eager to become stronger? Can you tell your mother about it? She really wanted to know more. Not only did she want to share the pressure for her son. At the same time, she also wanted to prepare and plan in advance according to the future. She always planned before taking action, and didn't like to fight a battle she was not sure of. After listening to this, Uchiha Xuanqing was silent for a while, and asked her mother to set up a soundproof barrier around the room. He then said, in the future, the Uchiha clan was exterminated in Konoha 55 years under the coercion of Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo. Next, Uchiha Xuanqing told Uchiha Zhili in detail about the future he knew. Even including the second, third and even fourth wars. There is also news that Uchiha Madara is still alive, Black Zetsu, White Zetsu, Otsutsuki Kagaya, Sage of Six Paths, Otsutsuki clan, and so on. He told his mother everything. Anyway, Uchiha Zhili can be absolutely trusted. 100 points of full favorability is not a joke. From the moment of binding the space-time gate, this value will not drop, and he does not need to worry about his mother being unfavorable to him. Even if it is an accident. I didn't expect that the future would be like this. After listening to this, Uchiha Zhili frowned. Not only is Uchiha Madara still alive and making trouble in the ninja world, but there is also a 1,000-year-old conspirator like Black Zetsu behind him. Even aliens, Sage of Six Paths and so on have appeared. That's true. No wonder you are under so much pressure. Indeed, judging from the strength of the people you described, my current strength and that of the entire ninja world are far from enough. Fortunately, we still have time and the resources of the pirate world. Future mother is confident that she will grow to a level that is enough to compete with or even surpass Uchiha Madara. So, don't worry too much, we just work hard together. If there were no resources and training methods from the pirate world, and no cheats from Xuanqing, she might not have confidence. But now both mother and son have cheats, what is there to be afraid of with just Uchiha Madara and Otsutsuki? Yeah, Uchiha Xuanqing smiled knowingly after hearing this. I have always had confidence, but I just feel a little bit of urgency and pressure. Confidence is something I have never lacked. Even if we are defeated for a while, at most we can hide in the pirate world for a while, and then fight back when we become stronger. Since I awakened my talent for the space-time gate, we have been invincible. Haha, that's true. Uchiha Zhili also smiled knowingly after hearing this. It seems that I have comforted you in vain, you see very clearly, little Xuanqing. This is very good. As for Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo. Hehe. At this point, Uchiha Zhili changed the subject, his face darkened, and said bitterly, I didn't expect them to achieve this level in the future, very good. Very good. It seems that I was too conservative and tolerant in the past. It was also because I felt that my life was coming to an end in the past, and I chose to compromise partially for the future of you and Uchiha. Now, everything has changed. In the future, I will definitely make them look good. Want to destroy me, Uchiha? Then I will destroy your Sarutobi, Shimura and 4 clans, If a tiger doesn't show its power, do you think it is a sick cat? She is Uchiha Zhili. Considering the current situation of the Senju clan, the miserable future of the Uzumaki clan and the future of Uzumaki Mito. She is already thinking about how to unite with the Senju, Uzumaki and Uzumaki Mito step by step to liquidate Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo and others. She is not the kind of person who sits and waits for death and passively counterattacks. Mom. Haki. Uchiha Xuanqing heard his mother's Haki speech and immediately gave her a thumbs up. It is really reassuring to have such a mother. Hehe. Uchiha Zhili smiled and touched Xuanqing's head, saying, leave it to mom. I'll take care of it. Of course, you can always tell me what you think, and we'll discuss it. Yeah. Uchiha Xuanqing nodded repeatedly. Sure. It's Uchiha Itachi. This kid was completely brainwashed and fooled by Sarutobi Hiruzen and others. At this time, Uchiha Zhili changed the subject again, frowning slightly and said, he was fooled into personally slaughtering the entire clan, his brain is broken. Yes. Uchiha Xuanqing listened and nodded repeatedly to express his agreement. Moreover, I think this matter is not entirely Uchiha Itachi's problem. Uchiha Fugaku should also bear a great responsibility. Bringing 3 or 4-year-old Uchiha Itachi to the front line of the battlefield, under the guise of feeling the cruelty of war, is simply crazy. Uchiha Itachi was completely led astray by him from the beginning. And later he kept tolerating and appeasing Sarutobi Hiruzen and others, which led Uchiha step by step into the ditch of despair. He is not suitable to be the head of the Uchiha clan. At the same time, he is not worthy of Sister Makoto. Quote. Chapter 10 Xuanqing. Sister Makoto is mine, Rayleigh and Peony. Uchiha Yuri nodded affirmatively after hearing the first half, but when she heard Xuanqing's last sentence, her expression suddenly became playful. Who do you think is worthy of your sister Makoto? Of course it's me, Uchiha Xuanqing subconsciously said what was in his heart, and then suddenly reacted. Looking at his mother with embarrassment, facing her playful look, his tender face blushed. Ahem. In short, Fugaku is not worthy of Sister Makoto. Mom, just tell me, right? You. Uchiha Yuri saw Xuanqing's forced quibbling and changing the subject, and smiled and stretched out a finger to his forehead and nodded, jokingly, Mom didn't expect that you were already a little pervert at such a young age. You've been eyeing your sister Makoto so early. But you're right, Fugaku is indeed not worthy Makoto. Moreover, from the future you described, it should be that you have not awakened the talent, without me in your future. Now that your fate has changed, the future is naturally different. So, mother supports you to marry you in the future. So, you have to work hard. Not only do you have to work hard, you have to learn to gradually establish prestige in the clan. Xuanqing basically stayed on the boat, either with Sea King's meat cultivation, or to copy the medical book and cultivate Uchiha brought to her with the reciprocity of Uchiha. On the day I got this technique, I was able to master it after a few attempts. I successfully entered it into the God-rewarded talent panel. Later, it was much easier to improve. 2 days later, the group successfully arrived at a port somewhere in the 13th area of the Sabayati archipelago. I successfully met Xiaoyao and Rayleigh, who had been waiting here for a long time. Congratulations on your safe return. As soon as the ship docked, Xiaoyao took Rayleigh on board, nodded to the leader, and then looked at Uchiha Zhili and his son, gratefully saying, You are Uchiha Zhili and Uchiha Xuanqing who rescued my 9 Snakes pirates, right? I am here on behalf of 9 Snake Island to thank you. I know everything that Naki promised you. Sending you to Magnetic Drum Island is far from enough to offset your kindness. If you have any needs, please tell me. As long as it is not too much, I will try my best to meet your needs. In addition, I am also well informed in intelligence. If you have any news you want to know, just ask me. I will provide it to you for free. Thank you again. If Uchiha Zhili and the others had not appeared in time, she could not imagine what kind of heavy blow the Nine Snakes pirates would have suffered this time. It is very likely that Hancock and the others would have been kidnapped by those damn slave-hunting groups and sold to celestial dragons. If that were the case, the consequences would be disastrous. You have to know that Hancock is the next candidate for the Emperor of Nine Snake Island. There is no room for error. You are too polite. It's just a coincidence that I'm doing this. Uchiha Zhili didn't rush to ask for benefits, but smiled modestly. No. But Xiaoyao was clear about gratitude and resentment, and shook her head directly and said, a favor is a favor. There is no doubt about this. Please make your request. If you haven't thought about it, you can remember it first and come to me to fulfill it at any time. Ha ha. At this time, Rayleigh smiled and patted Xiaoyao on the shoulder and said, okay. There is no rush for this kind of thing. This is not a place to talk, why don't you take everyone back to the store first? As he spoke, he looked at Uchiha Zhili, revealing a questioning look. Okay. Sorry to bother you. Uchiha Zhili naturally had no objection. Soon, the group arrived at the door of Xiaoyao's shop. Seeing the shop with the signboard of bar, Uchiha Zhili was slightly startled and subconsciously glanced at Xiaoyao. Xiaoyao. Ahaha. Xiaoyao was a little embarrassed by Uchiha Zhili's look. Fortunately, she was thick-skinned enough, and she returned to normal in the next moment, smiling and waving her hand and said, you know. There are all kinds of people here, villains, and pirates are countless. Such a name is more deterrent. Yeah, Uchiha Zhili and Xuanqing both nodded, looking like I believe it. With the previous preparation, Xiaoyao was no longer embarrassed and welcomed Xuanqing and his mother into the store. After serving wine, juice, cakes and so on, she then asked again, I heard that you are going to see a doctor on Magnetic Drum Island. Do you need me to introduce you to a great doctor? My husband knows a great doctor who should be able to cure this young man's illness. Xuanqing's body is not normal, and anyone with a little bit of insight can see it. Even in the eyes of Xiaoyao and Rayleigh, Uchiha Zhili's body is not very healthy. His vitality and physique are too weak. It is hard to imagine that this is a strong man who can easily kill several pirates with more than 100 million. However, they can feel that Uchiha Zhili seems to have a special energy in his body, which may be one of the reasons why Uchiha Zhili is so powerful. This kind of thing involving the other party's secrets, neither Xiaoyao nor Rayleigh asked. Impolite. Not for now. Uchiha Xuanqing spoke first without waiting for Uchiha Zhili. We are going to find the witch Dr. Kuleha on the Drum Island first. She should be able to solve the problem between me and my mother. If not, I will trouble you later. Oh. Seeing Xuanqing actually speak first, Xiaoyao and Rayleigh looked at him with some surprise. Xiaoyao said, which Dr. Kuleha? I know her. Her medical skills are really amazing. Maybe even better than Crocus. But, this person is not easy to invite. If there is no reward that satisfies her, she will not take action. I hope you are mentally prepared for this. Yeah. Uchiha Xuanqing nodded in understanding. I am already prepared for this. Is that so? Xiaoyao immediately understood. That would be great. I hope you succeed. So, have you thought about what reward you want? Please don't refuse this. She doesn't like to owe favors. We have also considered this. At this time, Uchiha Xuanqing spoke again, looked at Xiaoyao, and then looked at Rayleigh and said, I want to use this favor plus the information of the son of Roger, the Pirate King, in exchange for your Conqueror's hockey training experience and the training methods and experience of Marine 6 styles and life return. Uncle Rayleigh, is that okay? Rayleigh was shocked and said, what? Information about Roger's son? That guy really has a son. For a moment, he even ignored why Xuanqing knew his true identity. This news was really explosive for him. Brother is really surprising. Such shocking news broke out. Although we have doubts, we have not been sure whether this news is true. Xiaoyao also looked at Xuanqing with surprise at this time. At the same time, she also found that since entering the store, Xuanqing and Uchiha Zhili seemed to have reversed their priorities. It has always been Xuanqing who made the decisions. This surprised her. It also made her curious about Xuanqing. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. Chapter 11. Garp adopts Ace. It's really a cat giving a mouse a bride. 1/6. It seems that this sickly little guy is not as simple as I thought. Don't judge a book by its cover. Uchiha. I've never heard of it. Very mysterious. Peony thought. Brother, are you sure the news is true? Rayleigh calmed down after a while, and looked at Xuanqing seriously and asked, this is not a joke. Of course. Uchiha Xuanqing nodded affirmatively. Back then, after your Roger pirates disbanded, Roger went to South Blue. He met and fell in love with a woman named Portgas D. Rouge on Bartella Island. After a year of getting along, Rouge became pregnant with Roger's child. After that, Roger surrendered himself and opened the Great Pirate Era. And the world government vaguely discovered that Roger had a child in South Blue, and sent a lot of people to South Blue and killed many pregnant women. I think you should have an impression of this matter, Aunt Xiao, who is well informed. Yeah, Xiaoyao listened and nodded affirmatively. I remember it very clearly. After all, it involves Roger, and my husband is also very concerned. But in the end, this matter seems to have been left unresolved. Only many innocent pregnant women and even children died. So, at that time, Portgas D. Rouge successfully escaped the world government's search. It's hard to imagine how that was done. Yes. Uchiha Xuanqing nodded affirmatively. Because of the secret cover of Marine Vice Admiral Garp, and Rouge's forced endurance to not let the child be born until 2 years later, she successfully avoided the world government's investigation. But because of this, Rouge died directly after giving birth to the child. This is definitely a ruthless person and a great mother. It made Xiaoyao and Uchiha Zhili feel sympathetic and admired. I didn't expect it to be like this. Xiaoyao and Uchiha Zhili looked very complicated. Garp. You said that Garp covered for Rouge. Roger, that B*********************************** D, actually believed Garp, the Marine, and didn't believe me. It really seems like something this B************ D can do. Humph. Rayleigh said angrily. Xiaoyao shook her head and said, this is actually the best way to deal with it. What Garp promised is still trustworthy. On the contrary, if it is handed over to you, it will be more likely to be noticed by the world government. Don't forget that during that period, everyone in your Roger pirates was under extremely strict surveillance. The world government is not stupid. And Roger is obviously not stupid either. That's right. Rayleigh nodded helplessly. It seems that we owe that old guy Garp a huge favor. So, where is this kid hidden by Garp now? Isn't it in the Marine headquarters? If so, it would be really funny. When Rayleigh thought of Roger's son being trained by Garp to become a Marine, he had an indescribable feeling. Angry and dissatisfied. Not really. Happy. Not really. I just simply feel that things are unpredictable. It feels like a cat giving a mouse a bride. No. Uchiha Xuanqing shook his head. Garp sent him to his hometown, the windmill town in East Blue, and gave him to a good bandit named Dayton to raise. Oh, that's right. Garp also recognized Ace, Roger's son, as his grandson. Tisk tisk. I always feel that this guy did it on purpose, just to be a generation older than Roger and let Roger call him dad. It's probably revenge on Roger for throwing such a big hole at him, haha. Rayleigh. Peony. There are too many elements to complain about, and the two of them didn't know where to start for a while. Good bandit. Recognize Roger's son as his grandson. This kind of B****************** D is really something that Garp, that B*********** D, can do. Rayleigh complained with twitching eyes. Hee hee. Peony also said happily, if Roger survives, wouldn't he still call Garp dad? I guess he will fight Garp to death. It can only be said that this pair of old enemies is a pit against each other. She can also understand Garp's collapse when he received the pit thrown by Roger. The key is that with Garp's personality and his relationship with Roger as both enemies and friends, he had to accept it. I guess Garp wanted to kill someone at that time. Ha ha ha. Rayleigh couldn't help laughing when he heard this. He deserves it. What he did was inhumane. Garp should take revenge on him. Gall D. Ace. That's the name Roger, the B************ D, would give. Speaking of this, Rayleigh was full of emotion and nostalgia. Roger's sword used to be called Ace. No. Uchiha Xuanqing heard this and shook his head. Ace's full name is Portgas D. Ace, not Gal D. Ace. This is not just to avoid suspicion, so as not to be suspected by the world government. At the same time, it is also because Ace himself has always hated his father and is unwilling to admit that Roger is his father. So, when you go to see him, you'd better figure this out first. In his opinion, all the suffering he has suffered, the death of his mother, and the sinful blood he carries are all because he has an irresponsible D father. Rayleigh frowned and took a sip of wine, sighing, "Oh. I understand. This child has too much to bear. In addition, Garp, this B********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* afraid he can't guide Ace properly. I feel that this child will probably end up as a pirate. This is a smart child. You can see something from his concept. Moreover, Rayleigh has no doubt that Garp wants to train Ace in the direction of Marine. But at the same time, Garp himself also has concerns. Otherwise, he would not have thrown Ace to a bandit. Instead, he should have kept him at the Marine headquarters to raise and teach him. Of course, Garp's choice to save Ace also shows that Garp himself does not recognize the justice of Marine or the world government. If Ace really stays at the Marine headquarters and becomes a Marine, there may not be a good result in the future. Don't really think that this old guy is confused. As a former enemy, Rayleigh knows very well that this old guy is very shrewd. In addition, I agree to your conditions just now. Give me some time, and I will write down my experience of Conqueror's Haki, Marine 6 styles, and life return for you. However, I want to remind you that Conqueror's Haki is not something that everyone can awaken. It is also difficult to practice and improve with paper experience alone. If you really awaken Conqueror's Haki in the future and want to learn and master it further, you can come to me again. I will be responsible for handing over what I know to you in person. The same is true for Armament Haki and Observation Haki. You can learn 6 styles by yourself. This thing is actually mainly to stimulate the potential of the human body, and at the same time pave the way for awakening Armament Haki and Observation Haki. Only life return is different. It is derived from 6 styles, but it is far beyond 6 styles. It is extremely difficult to practice. Even I spent a long time to master it. You must understand this and do it according to your ability. Life return cannot be forced. Chapter 12 Asking Toolman Rayleigh to hunt Sea Kings 2/6. Yes, I understand. I will do my best. Uchiha Xuanqing listened and nodded heavily. Thank you, Uncle Rayleigh. Haha, what's the point? Rayleigh listened and laughed out loud. I should thank you. Not only did you save the children of the 9 Snakes pirates, but you also brought me such an important message. That's right. At this time, Xiaoyao also spoke to Xuanqing and Uchiha Zhili. The information about Roger's son alone is enough to exchange what you want with this guy. In my opinion, these are not enough to offset your kindness in saving Hancock and others. How about you make some more requests? Otherwise, I feel uneasy. She knew the importance of Ace's news to her husband. For this news, a little practice experience is nothing at all. This guy is even willing to take the initiative to teach and impart these things to people he likes. Uchiha Xuanqing listened, but shook his head repeatedly. No. We don't need anything for the time being. These are enough. Don't be too greedy. However, I may need some information in the future. How about bothering you, Aunt Xiao? Xiaoyao listened and smiled knowingly. Hee hee. Good. That's settled. If you need any information, just ask me. I'm quite well informed about intelligence. However, she didn't think Xuanqing could really use her intelligence. Because, judging from Ace's intelligence, Uchiha Xuanqing and others also have a stronger intelligence system than their own. People probably said this just to be polite, so as to avoid further entanglement. After treating Xuanqing and his team to lunch, Xiaoyao and the team leader found Xuanqing and his team again, and said a little embarrassedly, because some of the crew members are seriously injured, plus the preparation of supplies, it may take 5 days before we can set off this time. Is it okay? No problem. Uchiha Xuanqing did not refuse. At present, his and his mother's health are getting better rapidly, so these few days are not a big deal. Moreover, here, Rayleigh and his team provide more advanced Sea King's meat. Xuanqing and her mother recover faster, so they will not refuse it. By the way, Uncle Rayleigh, I want to collect some Sea King's meat and store it for later consumption. I wonder if you can help me. It's too expensive to buy it directly. Xuanqing asked a little embarrassedly. Oh. Rayleigh was slightly stunned and chuckled. This is simple. There are many Sea Kings in the sea. With my strength, I can easily hunt them. But how are you going to store it? This thing can't be kept for too long. Even with the vitality of Sea Kings, without a refrigerated place, it will stink in a month at most. Don't worry about this, I have a special storage method. Sorry to bother you. Uchiha Xuanqing smiled mysteriously. He planned to collect it directly using the space-time gate space. As for whether it would expose his secret. Anyway, there are many devil fruits with magical functions in the pirate world. Even if Rayleigh suspects, he will only suspect that it may be some kind of devil fruit ability. Xuanqing's real secret cannot be exposed. But there are not many opportunities to easily obtain a large amount of Sea King meat. You can't let your mother go to hunt, right? With her means, it is estimated that she can only use Susanoo, and perhaps illusions will also work, but this is uncertain. Other ninjutsu are not so useful against the huge and vigorous Sea Kings. Moreover, Uchiha Zhili's current physical condition is not suitable for using Susanoo. Haha, that's fine. I happen to be free now, let's go now. Rayleigh didn't ask any more questions and waved his hand directly. Hee. Good. Xuanqing nodded happily. I'll go too. You kid is not well yet. It's easy to get into trouble. At this time, Uchiha Zhili also stood up and said. Obviously, she was still worried about letting Xuanqing go alone with Rayleigh. Rayleigh would have to hunt Sea Kings at that time, and might not be able to take care of him. Please Sir Rayleigh. Uchiha Chiri nodded slightly to Rayleigh. Haha, it's a piece of cake. Let's go. It's just right for the ship of Nine Snake Island to take us out to sea. So saying, Rayleigh brought Xuanqing and his mother to the ship of Nine Snake Island. He said hello to the leader Naki, and soon the ship went out to sea. However, after walking more than 10 kilometers, the ship stopped temporarily. Then, Rayleigh jumped directly into the sea. Boom, boom. After a while, a roar and vibration sounded from the bottom of the sea, causing the sea surface to surge. Gurgle. Puff. Soon, a huge sea snake-like Sea Kings with a length of 100 meters and a diameter of no less than 5 meters floated to the surface of the water in a coma. Rayleigh popped his head out from the side of the sea snake, looked at Xuanqing on the boat and asked, Brother Xuanqing, how is it? Are these sea snakes enough? Do you need more? Yes, 10 more will be enough. Uncle Rayleigh, please. As he said that, Xuanqing turned to look at his mother. Uchiha Yuri shook his head with amusement, grabbed Xuanqing's collar behind his neck and jumped up, landing steadily on the sea. Oh, Rayleigh and even the people on the boat were surprised to see this scene. Can you stand directly on the sea? Because of that strange energy. It's really mysterious. Rayleigh noticed the chakra in Uchiha's footsteps. Although he was curious, he didn't ask much and immediately replied, Then I will continue to hunt 10, but they may not be this kind of sea snake. No problem. Xuanqing nodded, as long as it is Sea Kings. Thank you, Uncle Rayleigh. I will treat you to good wine when I go back. He remembered that there were a lot of good wines in the wine cellar at home, and Rayleigh must have never drunk them. He believed that his mother would not mind. She was so excited that she could not wait to exchange so much Sea King's meat with a little wine. Haha, that's great, then it's settled. Rayleigh's eyes suddenly lit up and smiled. At this time, Xuanqing was carried by Uchiha and approached the Sea Kings floating on the sea. He directly stretched out his hand and pressed the Sea Kings, and with a thought, he directly put the Sea Kings into the space of the time-space gate. Moreover, he directly used the space authority to kill the Sea Kings directly, so as to prevent it from waking up and causing trouble for himself. He even thought about it and directly decomposed the Sea Kings into pieces of meat and piled them in the time-prohibited area used to store items. Seeing such a big Sea King suddenly disappear on the sea surface under Xuanqing's touch, both Rayleigh and Hancock and others' pupils shrank suddenly. You kid, it's really not simple. Haha. Rayleigh looked at Xuanqing deeply. Since you have this way of collecting and storing, then I feel relieved, I will continue to hunt. With that, Rayleigh dived into the water again. And Uchiha Zhili took Xuanqing back to the boat again. Lest the Sea Kings show up and hurt Xuanqing later. Xuanqing, what is your method? Is it some kind of space-based devil fruit? At this time, Hancock ran over curiously and asked. Almost. Uchiha Xuanqing nodded with a smile. Awesome. I didn't expect you to have demon fruit power. Hancock exclaimed. At this time, Hancock was not the arrogant Empress Hancock who ate the sweet fruit in the future, but she was much more lively and kind. Chapter 13 27 Years of Life, Arrival at Magnetic Drum Island 3/6. Boom boom boom. Next, Rayleigh spent several hours hunting 10 sea kings of 100 meters in size, all of which were collected by Xuanqing. Only then did he stop. In order to hunt these prey, they even drove the boat to change several locations before completing the task. In the end, Rayleigh hunted one more and prepared to use it as food for the next few days. This sea king was disassembled by the female warriors of Nine Snake Island and temporarily stored in the cold storage on the ship. Done. Let's return. Okay. Thank you, Uncle Rayleigh. You've worked hard. Haha. No problem. No problem. It's good to stretch your muscles occasionally. Just remember to forget the wine you promised. No problem. I'll give it to you when I get back. Then it's settled. The ship returned quickly. On the way, Xuanqing took some time to enter a room and temporarily returned to his home in the ninja world. He took more than 10 bottles of wine from the wine cellar at home. Once we landed, we returned to Xiaoyao's shop and handed them all to Rayleigh. Here. Uncle Rayleigh. These are the fine wines in my collection. I guarantee you have never tasted them. Try them. Oh. Rayleigh took the wines curiously and looked at them. He had indeed never seen the style before. Some of them look like the packaging of Wonokuni. Let me try it. As he said that, Rayleigh picked up a bottle and opened it directly. A strong aroma of wine came out, which made Rayleigh's eyes light up. Good wine. Immediately, Gululu. He poured several sips from the bottle into his mouth. Shaw. Not bad. It is really a good wine. Haha. Brother Xuanqing. Thank you very much. Rayleigh swallowed the wine in his mouth, raised the bottle to Xuanqing, and praised. Hee. As long as you are satisfied. I specially picked the strong liquor. Uchiha Xuanqing smiled and replied. In the ninja world, there are actually more sakes. But Xuanqing considered that people like Rayleigh might not like bland sake, so he chose strong liquor. Oh, by the way, I have already written the Conqueror's Haki experience and the 6 styles and life return experience you want. I'll give it to you now. Rayleigh suddenly remembered, slapped his head, and immediately walked into the inner room with the bottle of wine. After a while, he took out a stack of experience and handed it to Xuanqing. Thank you. Xuanqing took it quickly, thanked him, and then flipped through it. With his memory and understanding, he quickly finished reading and memorized everything. But after reading, he frowned, handed the experience to Uchiha Zhili beside him, and said helplessly, the things are good, but unfortunately I can't learn most of them for the time being. My body is too bad. Even the observation Haki needs to recover a little before I can try to practice. As for the armed Haki and 6 styles, with his weak physique now, he'd better not die. As for Conquerors, Rayleigh's experience is mainly suitable for those who have awakened Conqueror's Haki. Of course, there are also simple speculations about how to awaken Conquerors. That is to have enough willpower and determination, improve your own spirit, and have a chance to awaken. In Rayleigh's view, this thing is basically innate. If you are born with it, you have it. If you are not born with it, then it is useless to work hard. However, Xuanqing didn't think so after reading it. In his opinion, this thing should involve the power of will and mind. It is indeed mysterious, but as long as you find the right way, it is not impossible to cultivate it independently. He has the talent of God rewarding hard work, and he is more confident about this. He believes that sooner or later he will find a way to awaken and suddenly realize the complete method of practicing Conqueror's Haki. Haha. That's right. Rayleigh laughed out loud after hearing this. Others also smiled knowingly. But, you really remembered and understood it in just this moment. You didn't lie to me, did you? Rayleigh looked at Xuanqing in surprise. Of course. Xuanqing nodded as a matter of course. My memory and understanding are very good. Huh. Rayleigh raised his eyebrows slightly. Then I'm looking forward to your achievements after you recover from your illness. Then wait and see. Uncle. Xuanqing grinned. Haha. Good. I'm looking forward to it. The next 5 days. Xuanqing still stayed in the pirate world, Xiaoyao's shop most of the time. Mainly practiced health-preserving exercises and meditation. The body is getting better day by day. Uchiha Zhili has to set aside part of his time every day to go back to the ninja world to deal with the affairs of the clan. Fortunately, it is not a war period yet, so there are not many affairs in the clan. In a flash, 15 days have passed. 10 days ago, Xuanqing and his friends said goodbye to Rayleigh and his friends, and set off from Sabayati Archipelago to Magnetic Drum Island. It took 10 days to finally arrive at Magnetic Drum Island. These days, Xuanqing's congenital deficiency has recovered a little bit, and with the nourishment of Sea King's meat, his body is getting stronger day by day. No longer sickly and thin as before, it can be said that he is different every day. He has even grown 10 centimeters in the past 10 days, and his height has finally reached 1.1. It is considered to be the lower limit of the standard of his peers. Uchiha Xuanqing. Talent, space-time gate, God rewards hard work. Lifespan, 27 years, 5 months and 12 days. Congenital deficiency, life source, 6.1310. Chakra attributes water, wind, fire, earth, yin. Skills, Uchiha Chakra refining, 1/100th, entry, Chinese medicine, 3314 10,000ths, Grandmaster, health preservation, 1145 5,000ths, minor success, Uchiha meditation, 134 500ths, proficient. His lifespan has also been greatly improved, reaching 27 years. At the Drum Island Pier. Next, do we need to stay here and wait for you? The leader Naki asked. No need. Uchiha Zhili smiled and shook her head. It's enough to send it here. We have to stay here for treatment for a while. I can't waste your time. You should go back early. When Xuanqing's illness is cured, we will visit you again when we have time. Thank you for these days. Naki listened, nodded, and smiled. Kaido, you're welcome. In my heart, your kindness is endless. You are welcome to visit Juche Island at any time. Then we're leaving. Goodbye. Naki waved goodbye to Xuanqing and the others and returned to the boat. The boat started quickly and sailed away from the dock. Xuanqing, Sister Zhili, see you next time. Come to see me. From a distance, Xuanqing and Uchiha Zhili saw Hancock standing at the stern, waving and shouting at this side. Yeah, goodbye. Xuanqing and Uchiha Zhili also smiled and waved in response. At this time, Xuanqing found that Hancock's favorability towards him had increased to 67. It's a pity that it hasn't reached the binding requirements yet. After the ship went away, Xuanqing murmured in a low voice. Oh. Uchiha Zhili on the side raised her eyebrows slightly after hearing this. How much difference? It seems that you like Hancock very much. Indeed, this girl is a peerless beauty embryo, you can grasp it well in the future, mom supports you. Uchiha Xuanqing. Let's talk about this later. It's 67 points now, a little short of 80. Maybe, it will be okay next time. Xuanqing shook his head. Let's go and ask about Dr. Kuleha's location first. Yeah, Uchiha Zhili naturally had no objection. Immediately left the dock and walked into the nearest village. After some inquiries, Dr. Kuleha's location was finally determined. Chapter 14. The perceptive Dr. Kuleha reaches a treatment and trade plant 4/6. After some time, Xuanqing and his mother came to Dr. Kuleha's yard and knocked on the door. Who is it? A somewhat vicissitudes of life female voice came from the room. Squeak. Then, the door was opened, revealing a tall old lady dressed in a more fashionable way. Seeing Xuanqing and Uchiha Zhili, Kuleha instantly judged some of Xuanqing and Uchiha Zhili's situation with his keen eyes and senses. He couldn't help but raise his eyebrows slightly and said, one is congenitally deficient. The other has a damaged origin, but I can see that you are obviously recovering quickly, so you shouldn't need my treatment, right? After hearing this, Xuanqing couldn't help but praise. As expected of Dr. Kuleha, you can actually see the general situation of our mother and son with just one glance. I admire you. Ha ha ha. After hearing this, Kuleha couldn't help but laugh out loud. Little ghost. Don't think that I will treat you just because you praise me like this. You don't need my treatment, you can leave. Wait. Seeing that Kuleha was about to close the door and send him away, Xuanqing hurriedly called him to stop, and at the same time, handed Kuleha a small half of the medical book and said, please take a look at this first. Indeed, the situation of him and his mother can be well solved by relying on Sea King's meat plus health-preserving exercises, combined with his increasingly improved medical skills. The only difficult to solve the lack of soul origin can also be slowly recovered by improving the life origin feedback. Or maybe he could find a solution after he breaks the limit of Uchiha meditation. But Xuanqing couldn't forgive himself for not using such a great doctor and not learning from him. Who doesn't want to recover faster? It would be even better if he could learn all of Kuleha's medical skills. Only by learning from others and more medical knowledge can his medical skills improve faster and go further. Not to mention, he also wants Kuleha's longevity medicine formula. Oh. Kuleha listened, looked at the small half of the medical book in Xuanqing's hand, raised her eyebrows, and chuckled. Ha ha. Interesting kid, you have aroused my interest, let me see what you want to impress me with. As she said that, Kuleha took the small half of the medical book from Xuanqing and flipped through it. At this glance, she was quickly attracted by it and immersed in it wholeheartedly. After a while, she finished reading the few medical books, then raised her head, raised her chin towards Xuanqing and his mother and said, come in with me. As she said that, she walked into the house on her own. Xuanqing and Uchiha looked at each other and hurriedly followed. She didn't forget to close the door. Soon, the three of them came to the living room. This is also Kuleha's workshop. There are various medical books, medical equipment, and even hospital beds, and so on. Inviting Xuanqing and his mother to sit down, she poured a cup of tea for each of them, and Kuleha picked up a bottle of green plum wine and took a sip. Looking at Xuanqing, he raised the small half of the medical book in his other hand and asked, boy, where did you get this medical book? The concept is completely different from all the medical books I have come across in the past. This doesn't seem to be something from this world, or this era. Oh, Xuanqing was very surprised when he heard it. He didn't expect Kuleha to have insight into so many things with only half of the medical book. But he would not admit it directly, unless Kuleha's favorability towards him reached the standard, and he would sign a contract to tell her some information about the otherworld. He immediately said, how can you be sure that this medical book is not from this era? Maybe it is a medical book hidden in our clan. You can't have read all the medical books in the world. Ha ha. Kurha heard Xuanqing deliberately directed her attention to, not from this era, but she didn't care. She didn't plan to ask questions. He laughed and said, little ghost. Don't tell me, there are indeed medical books in this world that I haven't read, but there are definitely not many. Especially this kind of medical book that is obviously incompatible with this world and era. Forget it. Let's not talk about this. You have indeed succeeded in arousing my interest. I can treat you, but I hope to get all the medical books you are willing to give out. Of course, I know this deal is not fair, so I can allow you to see all the medical books in my collection. How about it? Trade. The number of medical books in her collection is at least several thousand. But in her opinion, this deal is worth it. Her medical skills will not be less for Xuanqing to see, but after the deal, she and Xuanqing can gain more medical knowledge. This is a win-win situation. Her medical skills have not made any breakthroughs for a long time. She saw the hope of further improvement in the medical book concept given by Xuanqing. Perhaps, by integrating these medical books, I can truly break the shackles of life and find the way to a higher level of life. Kurha thought with infinite hope in her heart. She has lived for more than 100 years, but her exploration and enthusiasm for life have not diminished at all, and she is unwilling to reduce it. She hopes to see the scenery of a higher level of life. If it weren't for the trade, she would have wanted to rob it. Don't think that her nickname of witch is for nothing. Trade is okay. Uchiha Xuanqing listened and nodded. I have hundreds or thousands of medical books with the same system, and you can never find them in this world except from me. So, the conditions you give are not enough. At this point, Xuanqing raised 3 fingers and added, I have to add 3 more conditions. First, in addition to curing the illness of our mother and son, you must also improve or create a nutritional potion or a formula for a bodybuilding potion that improves the effect of bodybuilding training for us. Second, I hope to learn and exchange medical skills with you, you can't refuse. Third, I want to get the formula of the longevity potion in your hand. If you don't want to, I will provide the materials and you can help to refine it. With the potion, he believed that as his medical skills improved, he would be able to reverse it sooner or later. This was also to leave room for maneuver. After all, he didn't know how much Konoha valued the longevity potion in his hand. Oh, there are hundreds or thousands of them. That's great. However, what Xuanqing said was almost like flirting with a blind man. Konoha didn't care at all. Instead, she paid more attention to the first half of Xuanqing's words, I agree to all your conditions. Nutritional potions are not a problem, bodybuilding formulas are not a problem, and exchanging and learning medical skills is even more desirable. As for the longevity medicine formula, it's not a problem either. I agree to it all. However, I want to remind you that refining longevity medicine requires the dragon bones of a 1,000-year-old dragon. This is an indispensable material, you need to know this. Yeah, Uchiha Xuanqing listened and nodded affirmatively, I have known about this for a long time. This is not a problem for me. It's just the dragon bones of a 1,000-year-old dragon. Others don't know where they are, but he knows it too well. There are many on the seabed over Gunkanjima. There is even a living 1,000-year-old dragon there. Haha, you are really well prepared. Konoha was a little surprised, but she still smiled and asked, so, besides these, do you have any other requirements? Tell me all, so that we can complete the transaction sooner. No. Xuanqing shook his head, I am satisfied with these. People should not be too much. Chapter 15 I Meridian Refining and Nourishing Potion. The longevity prescription is obtained 5/6. Haha. Very good. That's it. I'll show you first. Konoha smiled with satisfaction. She liked this straightforward kid. Immediately, she began to check Xuanqing and Uchiha Yuri's physical condition in detail. It took her less than 10 minutes to finish. She looked at the two of them in surprise and said, the situation is better than I thought. It can be seen that you will recover in the next half a month. Kid, what means did you use to treat yourselves? This is not the effect of simple medical skills. You should have practiced a good health-preserving secret technique. At this point, Konoha stopped talking immediately and waved her hand and said, forget it. I won't ask about this. In short, your condition is better than I expected. I can prescribe 2 more prescriptions for you to speed up your recovery. With my prescription and your methods, I estimate that Xuanqing kid will be able to recover completely within a month. And you? Konoha said, looking at Uchiha said, with my method and the little ghost Xuanqing's method, you can recover the lack of the essence of your body in 10 days. But the lack of the essence of your soul is not that simple. Even if I specially prepare a medicine to restore your soul, it will take more than half a year or even a year to fully recover. Well, by then, your right eye should be able to recover with other methods. At this point, Konoha ignored Uchiha Yuri looked horrified, and then said, is the blindness of your right eye closely related to the lack of the origin of life and soul? It's best not to use this method in the future. Shorten your life. In addition, your left eyeball and the meridians around your eyes are also seriously damaged. Your vision should have been greatly affected. Although you have used Xuanqing's method recently to restore your vitality and also restore some of your left eye, this is far from enough. I will prescribe you a formula for warming and strengthening the eyes and eye meridians. You should take it for a long time in the future. Wait until the eyeball and the meridians around the eyes are strengthened to a certain extent and will not be damaged again, then stop taking the medicine. She guessed that Uchiha Yuri should have an eye-like blood ability. It's just that this blood ability is imperfect, or it is imperfect because the blood is getting thinner and thinner. As a result, when this power is used, the eyeball and the meridians around the eyes will be damaged. The formula she gave to strengthen the eye meridians was actually only a targeted strengthening treatment, not the best way. The best way should be to strengthen and purify the blood and make up for the blood defects from the source. But this is more troublesome, and many of the drugs required are too rare, so she is too lazy to get them. Let Xuanqing solve it himself after learning her medical skills. She believes that as long as Xuanqing can really master 80% of her medical knowledge, it will not be a problem to find and complete this step. Well, judging from Xuanqing's recent recovery, Xuanqing's medical skills are not wrong. As for the disadvantages of chakra, she also saw it. But she didn't mention it. Because in her opinion, this kind of energy, as long as you maintain nutrition, eat more, replenish vitality, and don't extract cell energy excessively, causing abnormal cell necrosis and renewal, that's not a problem. And nutrition and vitality are the least lacking in this world. You can even do this. Thank you very much, Mr. Kuleha. Uchiha Zhili didn't know what Kuleha was thinking. When she heard that she had a way to solve the problem of Mangekyo Sharingan's vision deterioration, she was overjoyed and hurriedly thanked her. At the same time, she thought happily in her heart, if I have this prescription to strengthen the eyeballs and eye meridians, can I completely solve the problem of Mangekyo deterioration? Even, is it possible to use this method to make my Mangekyo further and reach the level of Uchiha Madara's eternal eyes? Yes, Uchiha Zhili knew about the existence of the eternal eye. After all, she was also a person who had experienced the Uchiha era. Although she was still very young at that time, as a descendant of the Uchiha elder, she knew many secrets of the Uchiha clan. However, after Uchiha Madara left Konoha, he took away many ancient books, ninjutsu scrolls, etc. in the clan, causing all the younger generation of clan members and even many middle-aged and older generations of clan members to be unaware of many secrets of the clan. It's a small matter. Kuleha waved her hand indifferently, walked aside, and quickly wrote down the formula for Xuanqing and Uchiha's treatment, as well as the formula for warming and restoring the eye tendons and eyeballs, and handed it to Xuanqing, saying, "Here. The prescription is here. The materials can be bought on the magnetic drum island, so I won't prepare it for you. It will take a few days for the nutritional potion, body building potion, and your mother's soul repairing potion you want. As for the longevity medicine formula, I have it ready here, I'll give it to you now. Come with me. By the way, I'll show you my medical books. You can get them by yourself in the future. Follow me," Kuleha said, and walked to a room at the back. Xuanqing hurriedly followed. Soon, the two came to a huge room. One side was filled with bookshelves, and the bookshelves were full of various medical books. Kuleha walked inside, opened a mechanism, took out a treasure chest, opened it, took out a piece of paper and handed it to Xuanqing, saying, "Here. This is the formula for the longevity medicine. Write it down and return the paper to me. I'm too lazy to write another one. It can also prevent you from losing it. With your soul strength and mental strength, you should be able to remember everything you see, right?" She saw a lot of interesting things in the previous inspection. For example, Xuanqing's extraordinary soul strength and mental strength, such as Xuanqing and his mother have 3 times more cells than ordinary people, such as some of their eyes and brains. It's just that when it comes to Xuanqing's secrets, Kuleha is a person with more integrity and principles, so she didn't reveal it. Without their permission, she didn't plan to study it. But according to her judgment, Xuanqing and his mother, with 3 times the number of cells as ordinary people, will have at least 3 times the talent of others in bodybuilding and armament hockey. In the future, if they work hard and keep up with nutrition, it won't be a problem to become a general emperor. It seems that you have seen a lot of things in the previous inspection. I can do it. Uchiha Xuanqing is not stupid. He knew this from Kuleha's words and did not deny it. He immediately took the paper and glanced at it, and easily recorded the contents on it firmly in his mind. Then he returned the paper to Kuleha. Ha. Kurha locked the paper back into the treasure chest and closed the mechanism, while laughing happily, "Billion points. You let me see it yourself. You can't blame me." Then, she couldn't help but remind him, "However, with 3 times the number of cells as ordinary people, your future achievements in bodybuilding and armed color are bound to be high. About this, you'd better not leak it out, it will easily attract the attention of some people with ulterior motives. Of course, if you are invincible in the future, then just ignore what I said. There was once a race called the Lunaria clan, known as the God clan, with powerful fire ability and survival ability. But because of this talent, they were targeted by the world government and basically wiped out. It is said that the last descendant is currently under the command of Kaido, the emperor of the New World. Hearing Kureha's warning, Uchiha Xuanqing also looked serious, nodded seriously and said, "I've got it. I'll pay attention, thank you Ms. Kureha for reminding me." In fact, as his body recovered, he had already noticed the effect of triple cells on body training. It was even more obvious on his mother's side. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. Chapter 16 Are all the people in the ninja world a physical training genius in the pirate world? 6/6. It's not just me and my mother. Almost everyone in the entire ninja world has this innate characteristic. So, people from the ninja world who come to the pirate world, or have the resources of the pirate world, are all physical training geniuses. Uchiha Xuanqing thought. However, he knew that even if they had the same 3 times the amount of cells, different people would still have a big difference in physical training talent. Gai Huang's physical training talent far exceeded that of most people in the ninja world. Well, after Might Guy is born, we can find a way to bring him under our command. Even now, we can gradually show favor to his father, gain his loyalty and goodwill, and contract his father first. Uchiha Xuanqing thought secretly with determination. Might Day's physical training talent should not be worse than Might Guy's. The reason why there are high and low achievements is that it is due to conditions and basic restrictions. Might Guy relied on himself to practice and perfect the 8 inner gates, and he suffered too many hidden injuries in the process. It forced his upper limit down. Not to mention resources. In comparison, Might Guy has his father's involvement and resources. Even though these resources are relatively few, they are much better than his father starting from scratch. As long as you understand. Konoha saw that Xuanqing had listened, and did not say anything more, but walked outside and asked as he walked, "I have given my sincerity here, should I give your medical books too?" Xuanqing followed and smiled. Kaido, "I have memorized all my medical books in my mind. I have copied more than 100 books recently. These can be given to you first. For the rest, I have to spend more time copying them. I hope you can understand." Well, there is no way he can't understand. Oh. Konoha looked at Xuanqing with a little surprise, but he did not doubt the truth of this. Okay. More than 100 books are enough for me to read for a while. Your memory is better than I thought. Soon, the two returned to the living room. Under Kureha's gaze, Xuanqing waved his hand and took out more than 100 medical books that he had copied recently from the space-time gate. He said to Kureha, "Here. I copied these, you can read them, but the books will not be given to you directly, I don't want to copy them a second time. You can copy them yourself, okay?" He also planned to use some of the medical books to trade with Tsunade for her medical knowledge and related ninjutsu. As for trading with the village, he never had this idea from beginning to end. For the time being, he didn't want to have anything to do with the 3rd generation. "You little brat, you really know how to embarrass an old man like me." Konoha's expression froze slightly after hearing this, and she picked up a medical book and started flipping through it in a bad mood. As for the fact that Xuanqing took out a large number of books out of thin air, she was only slightly surprised and didn't care. In more than 100 years of life, she has seen too many magical devil fruit abilities. Although the space storage capacity is rare, she has seen many of them. Hee. Xuanqing smiled and spread his hands and said, "Your medical books here will not allow me to take the originals, so I must copy them myself. We are the same. Kureha has thousands of medical books here. If he wants to copy them all, he doesn't know how long it will take. So, he doesn't plan to copy them for the time being, and plans to memorize them all first. When he needs them in the future, he can copy them in a targeted manner. It's convenient to have a good brain." Next, Xuanqing, accompanied by his mother, went to a nearby town and bought a large amount of medicinal materials from there. Enough for them to use for a long time. Then he returned and started to prepare the medicine. Kureha saw that Xuanqing was a little unfamiliar at first, but soon his preparation skills and proficiency improved rapidly, and he was not surprised at all. Xuanqing also had the experience of preparing medicines in his previous life, so he could easily get started and succeed. At the beginning, it was because the body was not proficient in these things, and he got used to it after a little adaptation. You prepared a conditioning potion, pharmaceutical proficiency +1, Chinese medicine proficiency +1. More than 20 doses of medicine were prepared in a row. 10 of them were for his mother, and the rest were for his own needs. Here, Mom, drink 1 bottle and see the effect. After Xuanqing prepared it, he handed a dose to Uchiha Zhili. Okay. Uchiha Zhili immediately raised her head and drank it. Soon, she felt a stream of warm currents flowing through her body. Everywhere she passed, her deep illnesses and hidden injuries were quickly dissipated. Then, she felt a strong sense of hunger. Xuanqing seemed to have anticipated this long ago. He waved his hand and took out some of the prepared delicacies that had been stored in the space-time gate and put them on the table. He raised his hand to signal his mother, eat. After eating, practice health-preserving exercises to maximize the effect. Then, he also took a bottle of conditioning medicine and waved his hand to put away the rest. He then closed his eyes and carefully felt the changes in his body. You have taken the top conditioning medicine, your body functions are recovering, your lifespan is increasing. He could clearly feel that the various organ weakness problems caused by congenital deficiencies over the years were recovering rapidly. When most of the medicine was absorbed, Xuanqing also felt a strong sense of hunger. He immediately opened his eyes, walked to the table and sat down, and began to eat the delicacies made from Sea King's meat. After a mouthful of Sea King's, Xuanqing could clearly feel the spread from the stomach to the whole body. Now his digestive ability has increased by more than 10 times when he first ate Sea King's meat. These are the results of practicing health-preserving exercises these days, eating Sea King's meat to improve the recovery of life and physical fitness. After eating a large plate of Sea King's meat, Xuanqing walked to the open space on the side and began to practice health-preserving exercises. You eat the meat of Sea Kings to help you practice health-preserving exercises, proficiency +7, lifespan +7, life essence +0.025. You eat the meat of Sea Kings to help you practice health-preserving exercises, proficiency +7, lifespan +7, life essence +0.025. Sure enough, the effect has improved again, not bad. Seeing this prompt, Xuanqing showed a strong smile on his face. In this way, he can indeed recover completely within a month. You kid, you refine so many potions at one time, without sufficient preservation methods, the efficacy will evaporate. At this time, Konoha, who paid attention to this side from time to time, reminded while reading a book. At the same time, she muttered in her heart, this should be their main means of recovery before. Some kind of conditioning and health-preserving practice method, right? It's really good. She wanted to learn it, maybe it would be of great help to her. But it's not the time yet, and she doesn't have the right chips in her hand for the time being. She plans to get along with each other later and prepare some chips to discuss health-preserving exercises with Xuanqing. This thing is obviously a very important secret, and it would be bad to bring it up rashly. Thank you for reminding me. Xuanqing listened, while practicing. Kaido, I have a special storage method here to ensure that the medicinal effect will not evaporate. I said too much. Kurha listened, took a look at the steaming food on the table, as if it had just been cooked, and suddenly realized it. Before, she didn't pay attention to this point deliberately, it was her mistake. No, you can remind us, we have received this thought. Uchiha Zhili smiled and interrupted at this time. This witch is indeed much easier to get along with than she expected. The key is that she is also very capable. Uchiha Zhili feels that it is necessary to build a good relationship with Konoha. This kind of top medical talent is very important. Chapter 17. Uchiha Zhili recovers and proposes reforms to the guard and clan studies 1/6. You exchanged medical knowledge and experience with Konoha, and your TCM proficiency increased by 15. You read and studied Konoha's collection of books, and your TCM skills were merged into medical skills, and your proficiency increased by 12. For the next 10 days, Xuanqing lived a very regular life every day. In the morning, he swallowed a bottle of conditioning potion, and then ate a lot of Sea King's meat to practice health-preserving exercises. He did not stop until he reached his limit. Then, in the afternoon, he began to read and study Kuleha's medical books, and took 1 or 2 hours to exchange medical knowledge and experience with Kuleha. He would also spare some time to copy the basic TCM books in his mind to Kuleha. In this way, not only did his body recover and even strengthen quickly, but time also passed quickly. In a blink of an eye, 10 days passed. After Uchiha Zhili finished practicing the health-preserving exercises, she felt extremely comfortable all over, as if all the burdens were completely lifted. She could feel that her body had completely recovered to its peak state. I feel like my body has fully recovered, Uchiha Zhili said to Xuanqing and Kuleha after finishing his practice. Oh, let's take a look. Kuleha put down the book in her hand after hearing this, and Xuanqing also stopped practicing. He examined Uchiha Zhili's body one after another. Then the two of them nodded in unison. Yes. The body has indeed fully recovered. Konoha continued. Even with the help of the soul-warming potion, the lost soul essence has also recovered to 1% of the loss. If you want to fully recover the damage to your soul, you have to continue to take the soul-warming potion every day. In addition, don't fall behind in health-preserving exercises, continue to practice. You can also use nutritional potions and body-building potions to increase the body-building time in an orderly manner, and further improve your physique and vitality. This is also helpful to accelerate the recovery of the soul. In addition, you can continue to practice your meditation method, which is also helpful. That's about it. You don't have to stay here anymore. After so many days together, Xuanqing and the others did not evade strictly, so Kuleha still knew that Uchiha Yuri would disappear for a period of time every day, leaving a similar clone here. But this is full of loopholes in the eyes of a top doctor, or a top doctor with Grandmaster's observation color. At this time, Uchiha Zhili, who had already entered the realm of observation Hokage, also understood that Shadow Clone could not hide from the perception of observation Hokage. So, she and Xuanqing were too lazy to avoid it. Anyway, if she didn't tell Kuleha the truth, she would only think that she left every day by teleporting. Xuanqing found that after more than 10 days of medical exchanges, Kuleha's favorability towards him had increased to 64 points, which was not low. The two of them were also close friends regardless of age. Well, thank you, Ms. Kuleha. Uchiha Zhili nodded to Kuleha gratefully. I'm sorry to bother you during this period. I may not stay here most of the time in the future. Xuanqing, please take care of me. Xuanqing's recovery progress is also good, but it is estimated that it will take more than 10 days to fully recover. It's a small matter. Kuleha waved her hand without comment. I follow the boy for mutual benefit and mutual exchange, and it's not a matter of who takes care of whom. She won't flatter herself. After communicating with each other for the past few days, she had already discovered it. Although Xuanqing is young, he has a good understanding of medical skills, especially his understanding of traditional Chinese medicine. He is a person worth communicating with. This is not the key, the more important thing is the growth and learning speed of this kid. In just 10 days, Xuanqing not only made rapid progress in the field of traditional Chinese medicine that he is good at, but also learned a lot of medical skills from Kuleha. Even Kuleha was amazed by this kind of understanding and learning ability. What a monster. She looks forward to the day when Xuanqing's medical skills surpass hers in all aspects. Medical skills 9,314 10,000ths, Grandmaster. This is Xuanqing's achievement in medical skills in the past 10 days. He is only one step away from the minor success level of medical skills. It is estimated that he will be able to make a complete breakthrough in a few days. Xuanqing judged that even Kuleha's medical skills would not exceed the minor success level. But even so, it is already the top medical skills in the pirate world. At present, it is difficult to imagine what level the major success level of medical skills, especially the major success level of medical skills that combine the two worlds, will reach. This is getting off topic. After explaining to Kuleha, Uchiha Zhili pulled Xuanqing to the room where Xuanqing was currently living, waved her hand to set up a soundproof barrier, and then said to Xuanqing, "From now on, Mom can only spare a small amount of time every day to come here to see you. You have to take care of yourself. If you miss me, you can go back to the ninja world or the space-time gate at any time." Okay. Xuanqing naturally had no objection. I will take care of myself. But, Mom, you can also start the reform of the clan. Let's start with the Uchiha Guard and the clan school. For the guard, select elites to form an elite guard, and set aside a training ground for them to conduct intensive training. Regularly hold battle competitions, ideological education and learning, etc. Improve their treatment and let them completely get rid of the complicated and useless village patrols. As for the lack of guards in the village, openly recruit civilians or ninjas from other families. These offensive tasks can be handed over to civilian ninjas or ninjas from other families. We the Uchiha Security Department just needs to be a good judge. In addition, the Security Department has set up an open trial department specifically for handling disputes between villagers, allowing them to go to court to argue. We won't go directly to the court. In this way, it can greatly reduce the villagers' misunderstanding and malice towards us. By the way, ordinary civil disputes, especially those trivial matters, should also be distinguished from those involving village safety and human life, and handled by two departments. Ordinary civil disputes are left to the good old people in the tribe to handle. Or, recruit people who are interested in these from the village to take charge. You can give him a position as a captain, so that no one will take the bait. Quote. All cases will be tried as fairly, justly and openly as possible. A large notice board will be set up outside the security department. All closed cases that do not involve village secrets and can be made public will be announced, and the notice period will be 1 week. Let those unreasonable and evil guys have a taste of social death. In short, everything is to get rid of those trivial matters that offend people. At the same time, concentrate the elite of the security team and strengthen the power of the clan. What do you think? Anyway, things can't continue to deteriorate. Otherwise, Uchiha's reputation in the village will not improve. This is not what Xuanqing wants to see. In the future, he will control the entire Konoha and even the ninja world. This is the only way to maximize the effect of the space-time gate's talent. As for getting rid of the security department directly, it's not to say whether the third generation will agree. Even if they are willing, they can't do it. This is the stupidest. The power of the security department is very great. Possessing many judicial powers such as arresting, patrolling Konoha, judging, imprisoning, etc. If used well, it can completely clamp down on Hokage. The premise is to get rid of the negative baggage. Chapter 18 Let all the ninjas in the family roll up. The importance of family ideology lessons 2/6. You said it very well. You have been thinking about this for a long time, right? Uchiha Zhili listened and looked at her son with shining eyes. Her son gave her too many surprises. In the past, she and other Uchiha leaders had thought about changing the situation where the guards were hostile to the villagers. But there was no good way. Now, after hearing Xuanqing's method, her mind suddenly opened up. Indeed, using elite Uchiha to deal with those trivial matters, and personally going out to argue with those villagers. Not only is it a loss of status, but it is also thankless. Such matters should be handed over to civilian ninjas or ninjas from other families. Uchiha should just be a good referee and judge. Establishing an elite guard can also train a real elite force for the clan to deter the third generation. Just do as you say. What do you think about clan studies? Uchiha Zhili looked at her son expectantly. In her opinion, these must be the result of the inheritance of the immortals and the intelligence of her son. Yes. Uchiha Xuanqing nodded affirmatively and said, there is basically no clan learning in the clan at present. I hope you can design preschool clan learning classes, after-school intensive tutoring classes for students in the ninja school, genin intensive classes, chunin intensive classes, and jonin exchange classes in the clan. Among them, the preschool clan learning classes need to teach ideological education classes, ninja world history classes, Uchiha history classes, basic physical training, and kunai shuriken throwing classes. In short, roll up all the clan ninjas at every stage. If you continue to let them go like this, how can you become stronger? How can you support the glory of Uchiha? He has worked so hard as the young clan leader, how can you as clan members have the nerve to give up? He won't allow it. I will review the physical skills and related experience and training methods in the tribe recently. Summarize and organize a better and more complete set of basic physical training methods for preschool classes and after-school tutoring classes for students in school. In addition, the preschool class will also supply the medicinal bath that I recently optimized based on the medicinal bath formula in the tribe to lay a good foundation for the children. A small amount of sea king's meat can also be supplied. Of course, it is not appropriate to disclose the sea king's meat for the time being. So, in the next few days, I will try to develop a special soldier's ration pill made of sea king's meat, let's call it nutrition pill. In this regard, I need you to give me the knowledge and production formula of the soldier's ration pill in the tribe. The foundation must be grasped from the baby. Among these classes, Xuanqing pays special attention to ideological education classes. He plans to write a book on ideological and moral classes based on his memories of his previous life and the situation in the ninja world. It is used to correct the three views of the Uchiha clan. Adults are more difficult to change, so you can put it aside for now and start with children. When he or Uchiha Zhili is strong enough to easily suppress any voices in the tribe, it will be the time to educate the tribe members comprehensively. No problem. This is easy. I'll go back and give it to you later. Uchiha Zhili naturally had no objection, and then asked, "You seem to attach great importance to ideological education, why?" "Why?" Xuanqing listened, thinking of the future genocidal Itachi and the naive Shisui, and shook his head helplessly. Just think about the future Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Shisui and you will understand. All this proves how important it is to establish a correct outlook on life for the tribe members from an early age. If we don't occupy the ideological high ground, the third generation will use his perverted will of fire to brainwash our tribe members. Then, let our tribe members deal with us in turn. Uchiha Zhili listened, and his face was solemn. Indeed, I have neglected this aspect before. Ideological education is indeed very important. Not only that, Xuanqing shook his head again and said, the ideological education of adults is also important. Now, the radical factions in the tribe are actually influenced by the old stubborn old generation of Sengoku, and they have been educated so brainless and radical. You actually want to stage a rebellion and fight the entire village with the power of one clan. Isn't this just mentally ill? Even if you can win, you will lose in the end. As the two major ninja clans that founded the village, why can't Uchiha find a way to gradually take back the power? When Uchiha Zhili heard this, his brows frowned slightly. This is indeed very serious, but the thinking of adults is basically fixed and cannot be easily changed. You need to understand this. Yeah, Xuanqing nodded without comment. I understand, so I am not prepared to educate the adults right away. Let's start with the children first. Next, Xuanqing told Uchiha Zhili in detail about after-school tutoring classes for school students, genin, chunin intensive classes, jonin exchange classes, and even the establishment of a more complete reward and punishment system for meritorious contributions within the clan. All of them were discussed with Uchiha Zhili. After all these things were confirmed, the conversation ended. That's right. Just when Uchiha Zhili was about to leave, Xuanqing stopped his mother again and asked a little embarrassedly, "Mom, can you help me run the map? At least, help me light up the map of Gaia Island in East Blue Log Town. It will be convenient for me to teleport there at any time later." According to the characteristics of the space-time gate, as long as he or the bound members have been to a place, he or even the bound members can teleport to the place they have been to at any time. He is too weak now, and it is too dangerous to run the map by himself, so he can only ask his mother for help. But, he has already found a lot of things for his mother to do before. She is simply being used like a cow and a horse. Run the map. What is this? Uchiha Zhili was slightly stunned when he heard it. Huh, didn't I tell you? Uchiha Xuanqing asked back. Uchiha Zhili shook his head helplessly. Okay, my bad. Xuanqing slapped his forehead and immediately explained this function of the space-time gate. Uchiha Zhili suddenly realized, so that's how it is. Doesn't this mean that we can teleport to any place we've been to in the future? Then I can go to Sabayati Archipelago anytime I want now. Can this function be used in the ninja world in reverse? After hearing this, Xuanqing gave his mother a thumbs up. You asked the key point. My answer is, it can be used. Whether you go to Sabayati Archipelago or the ninja world at any time, it's useful. The teleportation cheat is so cool. This is really great. Uchiha Zhili confirmed this and his eyes lit up. With this, it will be much more convenient whether in the ninja world or in the pirate world. Many times, this can even be used as a means of saving life, as Flying Thunder God. It may even be more useful than Flying Thunder God. This does not require pre-setting coordinates or anything. No consumption. If you can teleport to any place you have been to, you can also use it in battle. Almost. Xuanqing was also stunned by his mother's unique perspective, and nodded. Then this is very important, I agreed to run the map. Lobe Town and Gaia Island, right. Leave it to me. I will take some time every day to deal with these two places. But can you tell Mom why you chose these two places? What are these two places? Uchiha Zhili agreed to Xuanqing's request and asked. She was quite curious. She knew that her son would not aimless. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audio Wave. Chapter 19 Sky Island and Thunder Fruit, Uchiha Makoto 3/6. Xuanqing smiled and said, Lobe Town is located in East Blue. There are many geniuses in East Blue that are worth my attention. When I have time, I can easily conquer them. While they are young, it will be much easier to improve their favorability. In addition, the dragon bones needed for the longevity medicine are also in East Blue. Also, there is a kendo dojo in East Blue that is very suitable for me to practice the kendo of this world. The dojo master there is a great swordsman, and his strength in the pirate world is at least quasi-admiral level. The key is that it is also relatively easy to enroll. There are not many requirements. Just a clean family background is fine. Not to mention the dragon bones. He will not miss Nami and Kuina. Even Zoro, Ace, Sabo and Luffy who will come to East Blue in the future can also improve their favorability. These four people's personalities and qualities, once the favorability is improved, plus their potential, they can also become good helpers in the future. Dragon bones and unsuccessful geniuses. I see, that's really important. Uchiha Yuri nodded in understanding. What about Gaia Island? Xuanqing continued. Gaia Island involves a legend of a golden city. Golden City. Uchiha Yuri also raised his eyebrows after hearing this. Treasure. That's right, if the family wants to reform and improve its strength, money is indispensable. At present, although the family's finances are good, according to the reform plan we have discussed, the subsequent expenses will be very high. Xuanqing, do you want to share your mother's worries and solve this problem? You are thoughtful. Hee. Xuanqing touched the back of his head and smiled. That's right. Then, he told his mother about Gaia Island and Sky Island. Even the Logia thunder fruit that existed in Sky Island Burka and had not been eaten by Enel. Hiss. After listening to this, Uchiha Zhili couldn't help but take a breath and exclaimed, I didn't expect that there is such a wonder in the pirate world. The sky current can actually push an island to a height of 10,000 meters. The existence of the permanent Zhili cloud in Sky Island also makes people curious and yearning. I really want to go and see it sooner. Compared to this, the Golden City seems not so important. There will be a chance. After listening, Xuanqing smiled and shook his head. However, you need to master the means of flying, otherwise you can only take the sky current and try your luck. Don't think that it's easy just because Luffy and others seem to land successfully against the sky current in the future. They are the protagonists and have the halo. If it were someone else, it would not be a 100% chance of death, but it would definitely be a 90% chance of death. In comparison, landing on Sky Island from the top of West Blue is more reliable. Of course, the best way is to find the small Sky Island Visalia and take their airship for the safest. Fortunately, there are still some flying means in the ninja world. Flying means. Uchiha Yuri listened and pondered. There are some in the ninja world. Let's not talk about the distant ones. Our Uchiha clan's Susanoo can also fly after it is fully opened. Unfortunately, ordinary Mangekyo cannot open the full form of Susanoo. At least, I can't at present. Maybe, if I increase my physical fitness and vitality several times, I can do it. Xuanqing listened and nodded in understanding. In the future of the original work, there are people who open the full form of Susanoo in the Mangekyo Sharingan stage. Obito did it. But he relied on the white Zetsu cells in his body. Uchiha Chiri continued. Others, Iwagaker's light and heavy rock technique, Sand Shinobi's magnet style can also fly. However, these are more difficult to obtain. More than 10 years ago, the air ninja who attacked Konoha also mastered the means to make flying ninja tools. Unfortunately, after being defeated by Konoha, it disappeared. Maybe we can send someone to look for it. Also, maybe we can contract a flying summoning beast, what do you think? As she said, she looked at Xuanqing. Xuanqing touched his chin and pondered. You can try, it's better to have a stronger flying ninja beast, otherwise I'm worried that it can't fly to an altitude of 10,000 meters. As long as you successfully land once and open the map over there, you don't have to worry about this later, you can teleport at any time. Ordinary ninja eagles in the village definitely can't do it. Yeah, Uchiha Yuri heard this and nodded. Mom, let's find a way. For the Golden City and Thunder Fruit, we have to find a way to do it. Even the special shellfish on Sky Island are actually good commodities with high value. These can be sold to the ninja world as Uchiha's new products to earn more money. If Uchiha can completely get rid of its financial dependence on the village's task commissions, then the third generation will lose another means to clamp down on Uchiha. Kill two birds with one stone. Okay. Xuanqing naturally had no objection. Anything else? Say it all at once. Uchiha Yuri asked again. Not yet. Hearing this, Xuanqing shook his head. The only thing is to ask Sister Makoto to come to my house and see if her favorability is up to standard. If it is, I can contract her by the way. Let her come here to practice and become stronger as soon as possible. I heard that Fugaku has been pursuing Sister Makoto. I want to see, when he finds out that he can't beat Sister Makoto at all, does he still have the face to pursue Sister Makoto? He, Uchiha Xuanqing, is super petty. Haha. You. Uchiha Yuri couldn't help but cover his mouth and smile when he heard it. He stretched out his hand and touched Xuanqing's forehead and said, Fugaku offended you, it's his bad luck. Humph. Xuanqing snorted lightly, raised his chin and said, I'm not targeting him just because of Sister Makoto, but more importantly, because he will not do anything in the future, which will lead to the extermination of the Uchiha clan. Yes. Uchiha Yuri nodded with a smile, obviously not believing it. If you want to see Sister Makoto, I will let someone notify her to come to my house and invite her to dinner when I go back. Just go home at 6 o'clock, and I will give you the information about the Hiro Maru by the way. That's it. Mom is gone. With that, Uchiha Yuri waved to remove the soundproofing and left the pirate world. Xuanqing left the room and ran to Kuleiha's library to read medical books. At about 6 o'clock in the afternoon, Xuanqing informed Kuleiha, then returned to the room and left the pirate world. The next moment, he returned to his home in the ninja world. As soon as he came out of the room, he smelled the rich aroma of food. When he came to the living room, he saw Uchiha Makoto serving the dishes. Hey, Sister Makoto. Xuanqing immediately smiled and raised his hand to greet. At the same time, he used his talent to check and found that Uchiha Makoto's favorability towards him had reached 87 points. Sure enough, it has reached the standard. That's great. Xuanqing was delighted. Xuanqing. Uchiha Makoto was stunned when she saw Xuanqing. When did you grow so much taller? And, you look much better, are you well? The last time she saw Xuanqing was a month ago. She had to go to school recently, and she practiced hard, and Uchiha Zhili seemed to be very busy recently, so she didn't come to Xuanqing's house. As a result, in just 1 month, Xuanqing has grown at least 10 centimeters taller and stronger than last time. If Xuanqing hadn't been as handsome as ever, she would have almost failed to recognize him. No, he should be more handsome than before. A handsome little Zhengtai. Yeah, almost. It's almost done. Soon, I will be able to practice. Xuanqing smiled and nodded. Chapter 20 Contract Uchiha Makoto. Fugaku is a waste compared to Makoto, 4/6. Really? Congratulations. You finally got what you wanted. Uchiha Makoto was also happy when she heard this, and was very happy for Xuanqing. She knew very well that Xuanqing wanted to practice in the past, but because of her physical condition, it was always difficult to achieve. Now she is finally getting better. Xuanqing, are you back? Help serve the dishes, it's time to eat. At this time, Uchiha Zhili's voice came from the kitchen. Okay. Xuanqing quickly responded, and then walked into the kitchen with Makoto, and soon the remaining dishes were served. Invite Makoto to the table to eat. Wow. Aunt Zhili, your cooking skills are getting better and better. Delicious. As soon as the food entered her mouth, Makoto's eyes lit up and she couldn't help but praise. Haha. As long as you like it. Eat more. Uchiha Yuri smiled and asked, besides being delicious, do you feel anything else? Huh. Makoto was stunned and looked at Uchiha Yuri inexplicably. Seeing that Uchiha Yuri looked serious, she quickly felt it carefully. She found that the food she ate today was indeed very different from the past. Yes, it seems to be very nutritious, and my stomach feels warm. This feeling is even spreading throughout my body. I feel that my body is also much more relaxed, and the fatigue from recent training has been reduced a lot. I feel that my cells seem to be eager for this warm current. Incredible. Auntie, what kind of meat is this? Makoto asked in amazement. You have to ask Xuanqing for this. He brought it all. Uchiha Yuri smiled mysteriously, pointed to Xuanqing on the side and said to Makoto. Oh, quote. Makoto turned to look at Xuanqing and cast a questioning look. Xuanqing didn't waste any words. In Makoto's surprised expression, he condensed a mysterious rune from his brows and sent it to Makoto, saying, touch this mark and agree, and you will know everything. Quote. Makoto stared at the rune in a daze, not understanding when Xuanqing had such a mysterious method. No, it should be said that Xuanqing has been acting mysterious since today. Makoto glanced at Uchiha Zhili again, and in the encouraging and affirmative eyes of Uchiha Zhili, she made up her mind. She reached out and touched the rune. The next moment, a voice sounded in her mind, asking her if she agreed to sign a contract with Xuanqing. After signing the contract, she can get huge benefits from Xuanqing, and will also be subject to Xuanqing to a certain extent. Makoto gritted her teeth and chose to agree. Because she believed that Xuanqing and Uchiha Zhili would not harm her. The next moment, the rune sank into her hand, and quickly entered her sea of consciousness between her eyebrows along her hand. The rune phantom turned into a door-shaped shadow and sat in the center of her sea of consciousness. At the same time, a lot of information about the time and space gate and the pirate world poured into Makoto's mind. She fell into silence for a while. This time the information she obtained was better than last time. Uchiha Zhili has a lot more. Xuanqing added it on purpose. For example, he was too lazy to explain the map and the information of the pirate world over and over again, so he just passed it to Makoto when the contract was signed, saving the need to explain it later. After a while, Makoto digested the information and opened his eyes. He looked at Xuanqing and Uchiha Zhili with an incredible look and asked, is this all true? Otherworld. So, this meat is the meat of the Sea Kings of Otherworld. Yes. Xuanqing nodded affirmatively. Eat more, it's good for you, it can improve your physique, vitality, and increase your chakra. In addition, starting tomorrow, you should take some time every day to go to the pirate world with me to practice and strengthen your body. Quote. He wanted to ask Makoto to help run the map, but Makoto was only 9 years old, and at best she was just an ordinary genin. In the dangerous world of pirates, she was not suitable for running the map. It's better for her to follow him and practice honestly, and improve her strength as soon as possible. There will be many places where she will be used in the future. Uchiha Makoto was stunned again, and looked at Uchiha Yuri first. After Uchiha Yuri nodded in agreement, Makoto said to Xuanqing, okay. Then I'll trouble you, Xuanqing. But, as you know, I'm still in school, maybe I'll have time after school and in the evening. Is it okay? Xuanqing shook his head and asked, do you know shadow clone technique? Yes. Makoto Kaido. As the granddaughter of the second elder, with good talent, shadow clone technique has naturally been learned a long time ago. Then you can use shadow clone to go to school during the day. Come to the pirate world in person and practice with me. Xuanqing immediately decided. Is it okay? Makoto nodded with some realization. Okay, except for practical classes, I will use this method. She naturally didn't want to miss the opportunity to go to Otherworld to practice and become stronger quickly. Even Auntie Lian Zili agreed, and it was obviously of great benefit to her. There was nothing to hesitate about. Then it's settled. After dinner, I'll take you there to get to know the place and the people. After that, just go there when you have time. Xuanqing nodded with satisfaction and replied, and then continued to eat. After a meal, Xuanqing first brought Makoto to the pirate world Drum Island, Kuleha's side. He also introduced her to Kuleha. Ms. Kuleha, this is my cousin Uchiha Makoto. She will come here often to practice in the future. I will take her to get to know the sect. Sister Makoto, Ms. Kuleha is a top doctor, a super powerful one. Oh. Kuleha heard it, looked up and glanced at Makoto, another Uchiha. I'm Kuleha, little girl, you can do whatever you want. Hello, Ms. Kuleha. Makoto also hurriedly bowed to Kuleha respectfully. Haha, you are a very polite girl. Be casual, there are no rules here. You see your cousin is very casual, he almost treats my place as his nest. Kurha saw Makoto being so polite, smiled and joked. She herself is not a reserved person. Yes. Makoto bowed slightly again, obviously still a little uncomfortable. Then, Xuanqing took her to introduce the environment here. Then, he took her to the room that he had specially arranged as a practice room, and said to Makoto, "Today I will teach you a method called health-preserving exercise. This function can regulate the body, relieve fatigue, repair hidden injuries, strengthen the physique, and prolong life. It can also accelerate the refining and absorption of Sea King's meat, which is very helpful for your subsequent practice. Come, follow me." As he said, Xuanqing taught Makoto the health-preserving exercise hand in hand for more than half an hour. Let her get started with the health-preserving exercise. This speed is actually fast. However, compared with the previous Uchiha Zhili, the gap seems to be quite large. This is the result of Makoto using Sharingan. Well, Makoto, 9 years old, has already opened 2 Tomo Sharingan. He is also a famous little genius in the clan. Fugaku is 5 years older than Makoto. He is 14 this year, but he is only a 2 Gaitama. Makoto's talent can be imagined. No wonder the original future can give birth to geniuses like Itachi and Nizuzi. It is mainly due to Makoto, right? Xuanqing thought maliciously. He felt that the original future Makoto would have married and had children early, without continuing to work hard to practice and experiencing enough stimulation. Otherwise, her achievements would definitely be more than 3 Magatama. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audio Wave to stay updated with our latest stories. And never miss out on a great listen.